Forever. Dog.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what comes after 1? The show's live. Live! The show's live? Oh my goodness. Hey everybody. Welcome back to the best show. Yeah, that's right. It's me, your friend Tom, the host of the best show tonight and every night. Well, not every night. If I did it every night, it'd be not so hot in terms of the old brain pan and what that would do to it. Once a week, baby. That's what the best show is. It's every Tuesday night, and here we are on an amazing Tuesday night in October of 2022, and it's in Los Angeles. And hello, and welcome back. And I want to welcome y'all to a fun episode tonight. We are calling the 50 States of Bruce. You're saying to yourself, what on earth is that? What are these wackadoodles coming up with next? Well, let me tell you. Basically, Bruce Springsteen represents the state of New Jersey, and every state has their own representative in terms of music or arts. And we want to figure out for all 50 states tonight on the best show, who is your state's Bruce Springsteen? Now let's get into it. The phone number is 201-989-0012. That's the number. Almost said that bleeping other number. Like the movie said, you can run from the past. But baby, when the past ain't done with you, look out, Jack, because you're going to get punched in the nose. And that movie, Mighty Joe Young, the new one. Not the one from a few years ago. There's a newer one coming out. It's very good. I've seen it stars Logan Paul, Tom Sizemore, a new Kardashian, and Andy Milonakis is in it. It's very exciting to have him back in the fold. Sandra Bullock Sr., Sandra's mother, finally making her acting debut. The band Rat are in it, with the exception, of course, of Robin Crosby is no longer with us. He's not in it. And Bobby Blotzer is not in it due to a contractual dispute. But don't worry, you still got Stephen Piercy, Warren DeCucurullo. Was that his name? I can't remember. Warren DeMartini. Starting to blur my metal. What am I, a wizard? An alchemist? Apparently not. If I was, I'd be whipping gold up all the livelong day. Can you imagine what I'd do with some gold? Oh man, I need some gold. You got any gold? Send it to me. I'm like Soupy Sales when he was like, hey kids, you got that green stuff in your mother's purse? Mail it to this address. Didn't happen. I'm ready to go. And if it happened, you got a dumb kid in your house back then. And look, that kid died of natural causes now anyway. That was 90 years ago. But I says to you, if that actually happened, them's the breaks. You gotta raise your kid better, not to be so stupid and stick money in an envelope because the guy on TV said to do it. But that said, if kids, if you do find gold, send it along to Forever Dog Studios. Attention, Brett Boehm. And he'll get arrested. When they haul him off, then I'll take the envelope. And I'll sing a fun money song as I dance down the highway in the city of angels. But right now, that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about the 50 States of Bruce. It's time to start the best show. Cue the theme in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Best show. show. Best show. Best show. Best show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the best show. My friends, welcome my friends to the show that never ends. The best show. Can't stop it. They try to stop it. All these other podcasts, they try to take us out. I'm not kidding. I caught someone from a rival podcast network in my office rooting through my notebook, like taking pictures with a little spy camera. Not going to say who, but all I'm going to say is if Adam Carolla starts talking about his favorite candy bars, you know who did what to who. What did we just hear? Oh, we just heard Juliana Riolino. That's right. You might say, where do I recognize that voice from? Well, you recognize it from last week's Daniel Romano's outfit session. Juliana is in the outfit, and her new album, All Blue, just came out this past Friday. It's on the You've Changed record label. It's a really great album. That band is a font of genius, and once again, if you didn't see the session, check it out. It was truly thrilling. And starting us off, the one and only Red Cross with Blow You a Kiss in the Wind from the Teen Babes from Monsanto EP. Don't get no better than Red Cross. You know it. I know it. We all know it. You know what else we know? That your friend Tom does a show called Double Threat as well as The Best Show. And that's a show I do with my pal, Julie Klausner. And the two of us are doing live shows this week in New York City at the Bell House. Thursday, October 20th. Sold out. Don't even try. Friday, October 21st. Still tickets available. That's the one you go to. If you're in New York, do not miss it. I fly out tomorrow. We do the shows Thursday, do them Friday. It's going to be amazing. A lot of fun. We got guests, surprises. The show in LA was a blast, and these shows are going to be more of the same. I'm telling you, I'm looking at you right now. That's right. You. If you're in New York, you come to the show. Maybe you get to say hi to your old pal Tom. I'll be there. I'll say hi to you. Will I shake your hand? Yeah, I will. Do I have COVID? Yeah, I do. No, I don't. I don't have COVID. Or do I? Only one way to find out. No, there actually is only one way to find out. Like a test. I do not have COVID. I just want to say, for the record, I do not have COVID. I will be at the Bell House, rocking it out with you and with Julie Klausner and with Brett. Don't miss it. And if you happen to not be in the New York City area, fear not, because you're saying, I didn't get to see the show in Los Angeles, and I didn't get to see the one in New York City. And I would say to you, Andrew Dice Clay's wife, what you need to do on Friday, October 21st at 7:30 p.m., check out the live stream. We're going to do a live stream, Double Threat live stream. Anywhere in the world you watch this thing. Live from the Bell House. Go to moment.co/double threat and get your ticket. You'll have access to the live stream for a full week in case you can't watch it live. It'll be worth your while. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have posters on sale at the show designed by the amazing Julia Vickerman. Check those out. Maybe I'll bring my own Sharpie by and sign one. I'm only going to sign one. No, I'll sign this. I'll sign anything you want me to sign. I work for you. It's like Five Guys. When you go to Five Guys, they have a sign. It's just like, can we find that? Anybody find me with the thing? Well, let me look. It says the sign at Five Guys. They have this totally like obsequious, embarrassing, we cower before you. It's like they're buying a $4 hamburger. Take it easy. They're not performing life-saving surgery on you. I want to see that sign. Anybody have that sign? Put it up in the chat, please. Let me see if I can find it here. Five Guys sign. Let's see what comes up. Five Guys sign. Now, these are outdoor signs. I want that sign that's the one where they're worshiping you, basically, for the privilege of you coming in and buying a hamburger. Okay, it's an $8 hamburger. You're right. Look, I only go that place. All I get there anyway is I have to go get a hamburger without a hamburger on it. Somebody said, what's up with those peanuts? I don't know. What's all fascination with getting to throw peanut shells on the floor? So that everybody gets to be an emperor for one meal? Here's my peanuts. Rum, rum, rum. Throw the shell on the floor. You pick it up. I don't like it, but I respect it. Yeah, I would. That sign. Anybody have it now? I want to see if somebody's got it. I'm going to stay here until somebody's got it. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to start the show. Tonight, the 50 States of Bruce. Let's get into it. The phone's 201-989-0012. That is the number for you to call and be a part of the program. Let me just say this. If you call and you're on hold, I don't know what to tell you. It takes a long time sometimes. Somebody's complaining about being on hold too long. I'm trying. We do what we can. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There we go. Look, slid in the frame. Thank you, son. Whatever. Okay. Back to the hot phones. Best show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi, this is Rob from Michigan.
Rock from Michigan. How are you?
Rob from Michigan.
Rob.
I'm doing real well.
Okay. Because I was going to say.
Sorry, I was.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rock.
No, your name's Rob. I respect you. What's up, Rob?
Well, I'm just thinking about the parameters, and I guess the artist most similar to Bruce would be maybe Bob Seger.
I got to say, Bob Seger is going to be in the lead for Michigan.
But I'd much rather put Stevie Wonder there.
Is Stevie Wonder from Michigan?
Yeah, I think he's from Detroit.
Okay. Well, I'd much rather put Stevie Wonder on than Bob Seger too.
But then what about Iggy? So I don't know.
Oh, see, that's the thing. This is a close one.
So is it about like how much they represent the state, or is it the biggest?
I think it is. I think it is. There
state?
needs to be some state identity, and I don't get a whole lot of that. Stevie Wonder is the planet Earth to me, honestly. He would represent Earth if we were in an intergalactic thing. We would put him up as the representative of the planet. He's bigger than Michigan in that way. And he also, outside of the label he was on for most of his career, which is obviously identified with Michigan, Motown.
Right.
I don't know. That's a sticky one because Stevie Wonder is maybe bigger than this whole concept. because he doesn't rep
Yeah, right.
specifically Michigan. Iggy reps Michigan.
Right. Well, you know who else reps Michigan really hard, and I hate to. Jeff Daniels has a bunch of music about Michigan.
Jeff
The
Daniels.
Yeah.
Well, I think we
So
got to
if
go
it's
with
really
Jeff Daniels.
strictly
then.
like I write songs about Michigan,
Okay.
this guy's got a lot of Michigan folk songs.
Look, God bless him. God bless him for writing songs about Michigan. But I just found out right now Jeff Daniels makes music. So I think that is going to exclude Jeff Daniels from representing Michigan. I just learned from you. And you might be lying for all I know.
Oh, I'm not.
That's what a liar would say. Do you think liars go, yeah, I'm lying? No, liars go, well, I'm not lying.
Hey, he's got a couple of real folky songs about Michigan. It's like bad.
Oh, well, then we have to. If it's bad, he's got a couple folky songs that you said are bad also. Well, I don't know how we couldn't let him represent Michigan.
So Jeff Daniels with a bullet?
No. I think, look, and I want this list to be diverse also. This isn't just going to be a parade of white dudes either. That's the whole point. That's why right off the bat, Stevie, this is a conundrum for me. Okay. Must be nice. I wish I could laugh at things the way like that. When am I going to get, when's my me going to show up for me, Rob?
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
I'm incredibly
Where's my
nervous,
me?
Tom. I'm sorry.
Where's my me? Where's my me? The one that makes me laugh. I'll just stare at the wall.
You'll find him. You'll find him one day.
Or her.
Or her.
Or
I was gonna
them.
say Aretha Franklin. Could Aretha be Michigan's?
That is a good
Michigan
point.
declared Aretha Franklin's voice a natural resource.
Man, I think we're down to Iggy or Aretha on this because I really do feel like Stevie Wonder is bigger than Michigan.
Yeah. Agreed.
Man, this is
Or
a
Jeff
tricky one.
Daniels.
Or Jeff Daniels. We're down to the final three. It's like when you're watching a reality show and it's down to the final three contestants and you know just like, oh, you're not winning. Because I think I got what it takes to be Ink Master. You don't. What about this? Here's an idea I also had. What about a show called... What about if you did like Nailed It? Is that, what's the show called? Mixing It? Nailed It? What is it? Nailed It. The late great Neil Mahoney used to say Nailed It. That's why I was confused for a second. What if there was a show like Nailed It where they get amateurs in the kitchen to make cakes, but for tattooing? Like they show you for a day how to work the needle. It's not like you're going to not even know how to like turn the machine on. They teach you for a day how to do a thing, and then the tattooing begins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my show for an idea. That's my idea for a show. Would you watch that show, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know why you know why you'd watch it. You know who one of the celebrity judges is?
No, who?
Jeff Daniels.
Oh man, he shows up all over the place.
He
If
does.
it's in
Where
Michigan,
isn't he?
he'll
We
be
should might as well just list where he isn't. It'd be faster. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. Michigan. I'm keeping track of this. It's a tie between Aretha and Iggy for Michigan right now. Okay. Thanks for the call, son. Good call. Good call. The best thing I ever hear is when they go. It's like heaven when somebody's like, thanks for the call. You did. Hello, Best Show. Welcome to the Best Show. Welcome to the Best Show. Where's that going to start? There it is. Hello, Best Show. I don't like to do this, but it's a recurring feature on the best show, and I need to do it tonight. Siri, play a Ted Cruz speech. Now, this is what I want people to do. Use your phone to film Siri doing this, okay? And send and post this, because I'm going to do it all night tonight. It's, what is it? Hey, Google. You got to say Siri. Then you say, Alexa, do this. And then, hey, Google. Are those the three commands, I think? Alexa. Alexa. What do I want to hear? Alexa, play Louis Gohmert's speeches. Speeches, multiple ones. Alexa, play the Hulk Hogan album. Hey, Knucklehead, do you hear me? If you called, your phone number starts with a 2. You're in Connecticut. Oh, you're driving me nuts. You're driving me nuts because so I was going to. Hello? Here we go. Right? Hello? Oh, you suck. There we go. And he comes on as I'm hanging up. God bless you, son. You got a head full of rocks. Best show. Hi.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
This is Herbie calling from Pennsylvania.
Herbie, we haven't heard from you in a long time, Herbie.
Yes, nice to talk to you.
Is this the same Herbie?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. I want to say I happened to be in Lipstick City a couple weeks ago.
Really?
I saw Double Threat Live, and it was amazing.
You shouldn't tell me you were here, Herbie. We could have gone to the Chinese Theater. We could have gone to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
We could have done it all,
Next
Herbie.
time.
But you didn't tell me, did you?
No, I'll let you know next time, Tom.
What do you got for me, Herbie? What do you got?
Okay, I'm thinking about Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people have been saying in the chat there are a lot of obvious ones. You know, you could say you're wearing Kurt Weill shirt. There's the Dead Milkmen. Someone threw out the Roots on Twitter earlier today. But the thing is, Pennsylvania is a big state. It's not just Philadelphia.
Yeah, who are you going to pitch? You're going to pitch Weird Paul, aren't you? You're going to pitch Weird Paul from Pittsburgh or Manny Thiner. Is that who you're going to pitch?
No. I'm
Joe
pitch my
Grishecki?
hometown
You're
hero,
going to pitch
but
me Joe Grishecki from Iron City House Rockers?
I have been thinking about...
Herbie, let me talk.
Thinking about... Sorry.
Herbie, do you know how a phone works? Do you know how a conversation
I'm just
works?
learning.
Herbie, there's Joe Grishecki from the Iron City House Rockers.
Nope.
Who are you going to pitch me then?
Brother JT.
That's a good one. Brother JT would be a good representative of Philadelphia. He'd represent more the Bethlehem area.
Bethlehem, which is where I'm calling from.
Mm-hmm. Give me points for knowing that, Herbie.
Yeah, I mean, goodness sakes. Yeah. No, I think, you know, he's been a thrill jockey, a Drag City, and a Silt Breeze recording artist, but he's always sort of flown under the radar. Like Bruce, you know, like the symbol of Bruce, he's this sort of everyman, but also a rocker. I actually saw a couple of weeks ago, he played a show here. It was his band, The Original Sins, playing a reunion set. They played about 20 tracks, and then it ended, and then there was a break, and then there was a full set of Brother JT, about 20 tracks after that. And I'm watching him up there, and he's wearing pretty much what he wears at every show, which is a old kind of stretched out T-shirt, shorts that have cargo pockets on them, and flip-flops. Okay. And he's still rocking out harder than
He's underdressed for the
anyone.
beach.
Yeah, yeah. And
Herbie,
so,
Herbie.
and also,
Herbie,
yes.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
Pennsylvania is a big state.
Yes.
You got that guy, the guy wearing the hoodie. What's his name again?
Hoodie
Entenmann.
guy.
Entenmann. Right? What's his name?
Mr. Enterman?
What's a hoodie guy? What's hoodie man?
Fetterman.
Fetterman.
Hoodieman.
Hoodieman.
Fetterman.
Yeah, Fetterman.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Philly is it's a hard scrabble city full of tough people, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And look, that hoodie
So
guy. I like that hoodie guy. If I was in, oh, Herbie. Herbie, it's Kurt
I'm working
Vile.
on it,
Kurt
Tom.
Vile from Pennsylvania. And Herbie, get off my phone.
Okay.
Herbie, God bless you. Learn how to do a phone call some point in your life. Talking over me.
Hey.
Jeepers creepers. Best show. Hello. So we got two
Hi, this
states
is
now.
Chris
We
from
got two.
Jacksonville.
Hold on. Shh. Got 2 states, 48 to go. New Jersey's Bruce Springsteen. Pennsylvania, Kurt Vile. Now, to whom am I speaking?
This is Chris from Jacksonville.
Florida. Now, this is a tricky one. Florida's a tricky one. What do you got for me?
Well, yeah, like you said, it's tricky because there's, so many different types of people down here, so many different vibes. The first one that occurred to me was Tom Petty.
Okay.
The other one would have been more of a Key West vibe with Jimmy Buffett.
I was thinking Tom Petty might have split his thing. He might have been a little too cute, being half from Florida, half from California, which would make him neither. He can't be from either state.
Fair enough. He just jumped to mind because he was from Gainesville.
Oh, I know. Tom Petty's a big force here, and I don't know if he ranks, though.
Yeah, the only other options I had from Florida were, obviously my hometown, Jacksonville, has Limp Bizkit and
I think Fred Durst. We're going to make Fred Durst represents Florida. He's the Bruce Springsteen of Florida. Fred Durst. How would that fit? Or one of those mutants from Leonard Skinner. Right?
Yeah. Neither one is great to be proud of, but
I'd be more proud of Fred Durst. You should be proud Fred Durst is from your state.
Yeah, he's from my hometown.
And what town is that again?
Jacksonville, Florida.
You ever see Jimmy Buffett climb out of a giant toilet on stage? No, Fred Durst did on the Family Values tour. Right?
Hopefully Jimmy Buffett will do it someday too, but Fred was there first.
Fred, and I think it's fitting for Florida. And look, of course, I hope everybody in Florida is safe and healthy from all the stuff from the hurricane. Of course, this is a larger picture thing. We're not goofing on Florida for the current circumstances. Of course, I just want to say that out loud. We're not making fun of Florida. But,
no, not at all.
But you got some messed up dudes from Florida. Who are the other Florida heroes, musical heroes?
Nobody jumps out at me. Yellow Cards from Jacksonville as well.
Wow, that's a drop off.
Yeah.
Yellow Card. Jimmy Buffett. You got Jimmy Buffett, Fred Durst, or Yellow Card.
Not the greatest set of choices, no.
Who else is from Florida? Let's see. Was Flo Rida from Florida?
Uh,
Pitbull?
that would probably make sense if he was, but I can't say.
Pitbull's from
Right,
Florida,
Pitbull,
right?
Miami, yeah.
I think that might be a two-way tie. Fred Durst and Pitbull kind of sum up Florida in a lot of ways. What would you think of that?
Yeah, they both represent a pretty wide. They both represent a pretty wide swath of the many different types of people in Florida.
Let's see. Florida artists. Yellow Card, Less Than Jake, Newfound Glory. What's going on down there? Where you got the Morbid Angel, Against Me, Yellow Card, Less Than Jake, Newfound Glory, Obituary, Leonard Skinnard, Hot Water Music, Dashboard Confessional, Matchbox 20, Creed, Flo Rida.
Ugh.
Maybe Rick Ross. Rick Ross might be the guy.
That'd
Although
be a
he's
good
in
one, too,
Georgia
yeah.
now. He's in Georgia now. He might rep Georgia.
Mhm.
DJ Khaled. Oh, that's a good one. Might have to make a DJ Khaled. What do you think about that?
I think each choice is worse than the last, but
38
any
Special.
of them are probably good.
KC from KC and the Sunshine Band.
Not bad. I think Molly Hatchet's from around here too.
Flying with disaster, baby. Say round,
Remember that guy? Funny fact about it's actually the opposite of a funny fact. Everyone from Molly Hatchet is dead from the original Molly Hatchet. It's the opposite of funny. I apologize for laughing. It's a gruesome trivia fact. Little factoid, everyone from the original Molly Hatchet is dead.
Skinner, yeah.
Even that guy. Oh, Luther Campbell? What do you think about Luther Campbell? Right?
Oh, that's a pretty good one too. Yeah, sure.
Man, maybe we got to go with Fred Durst.
I think
or
I like
Luther
Fred
Campbell.
Durst the best, but
I don't know. Pat Boone. Luther Campbell. I think Fred Durst. We got to go with Fred Durst. Fred Durst for Florida.
that's good with me.
Okay.
He's a hometown boy.
Okay. There you go. Hometown. Yeah. You're the Pride, huh? The Pride. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for
He
the call,
mentions,
son.
the Matthews.
We're supposed to listen to this guy. Hello, Best Show. I'm hearing. Oh, I know who this is.
Oh wait, hang on. My
I'm-
watch alarm went off.
That's your watch.
Yeah, I gotta turn it off. Hang on. Oh, it's getting louder.
Your watch is getting louder.
There we go. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you remember me. My name is Royden L. Ziegler.
Philly Boy Roy.
That's the familiar name I go by. Yes. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Roy, I didn't know the L. I didn't know about the L.
Oh yes, it's for Langsforth.
Your middle name is Langforth?
It is, yes. A very far away part of my family was rich at one point.
So that's why. So did you experience any of that wealth, or is that before your time?
I didn't experience it. My experience was quite like the Kirkwood brothers and the the Meat Puppets, where they grew up with one rich parent, but they didn't get no money from it. So,
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it too much.
No, I don't want to. I can understand how you don't want to talk about the whole Langforth part of your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't use it that much. It brings back, memories of a penurious childhood.
Sure, I can. Well, man, you're blowing my mind. Langforth. Now you're saying penurious, like the word choices and the.
Oh well. I'm doing really good on my brain app.
Your brain app. What is
I'm learning all kinds of words.
Okay, like what kind of words?
Wizened.
Okay.
Nomenclature.
Wow. I mean, do you work those words?
Those are the only two I learned.
Those are the only two. Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I cheat.
You cheat at it.
I do. Yeah, I figured Roy Jr. gave me a hack for it, so I know how to get in there and do a lot better than I actually am entitled to do.
Well, Roy, can I ask you a question?
I'm not going to tell you how long it is. No.
Oh God. Roy, why, if you have an app that's meant to help you learn, the whole point of it is it's not school. Why would you cheat at it?
I don't know. I guess I could go up to people on the street and say, look how good I'm doing at this. Look how smart I am.
Or you could actually just learn the stuff and actually know it.
Wait, what? Why would I do that?
Because you would learn.
Okay. Well, look, let me put my teacher's hat on and teach you a lesson and all your listeners, okay?
Okay. Well, we're all ready.
All right. With all due respect to your previous caller, I think we can all agree that since Robert Hazard's passing, I am the Bruce Springsteen of Pennsylvania.
That, Roy, you make a good case. So Robert Hazard was he would have been your choice.
Absolutely, yes. But I mean, look at the facts. I'm super cool.
Yeah.
Most people love and respect me. I've aged incredibly well.
Uh-huh.
And I also wrote and recorded a song called Meeting Across the River.
Okay. Your song, like the Bruce Springsteen song.
Well, mine's a little different. His is about whatever his is about. My song's about getting some strange at 3 a.m. in a Wawa parking lot in Camden. But are you mad at me? Because if you are, just tell me.
I'm not mad at you, Roy. You just you shocked me there for a second.
Okay.
I thought I was I thought I was unshockable when I'd hear your voice and the things you say. You just managed after all these years to shock me again.
I'm full of surprises.
You are.
Hey, can I do my Springsteen imitation for you? It's quick.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight the street's on fire. It's a real Death Wish 7. Pretty good, right?
The street's on fire. It's a real what?
It's a real Death Wish 7. Crack Jungle Land much? Don't sound like you do.
I didn't think those were the words. But
yeah, He predicted the whole Death Wish franchise. He knew there were going to be at least 6.
Again, you're blowing my mind. I didn't know that Bruce Springsteen had any connection to the I didn't know he had any connection to the Death Wish franchise.
Absolutely. You know, they ain't done a 7th yet, but my money's on either Bruce or Roy Bittan starring in it.
Roy Bittan, from the bass player from the E Street Band.
Oh my God.
What?
He's the piano player.
Of course he's I made a mistake. Gary Talent is the bass player.
That's right, the T-Man.
Yeah.
But you know, I just hope they bring back that line, which I think we can all agree is the greatest line in the history of cinema.
Does it start with the word "it's"?
Yes. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more words.
Yes. It's from Death Wish 3. It's not working. Kill the MFer.
Yes. Oh man, can you imagine Bruce saying that?
I can. But he wouldn't. But if he's going to be the star of the movie, that was just yelled by an anonymous hoodlum.
Well, I know, but I think it's him taking back the narrative.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like you got an interesting story mapped out here.
Oh, I do. And I'll tell you, Death Wish 3 is exactly what Philly was like in the early 80s. Flagrant mayhem.
That's what Philly in the early 80s was like the movie Death Wish 3.
Oh, yeah. Normos, metaloids, punkers going nuts. Personally, I blame the band The Sadistic Exploits.
For riling everybody up?
Yeah. Are you kidding with that? The B-side of their single, the B-side was called Apathy, and it was a call to arms.
So you feel like, but you feel like their reach was wide enough that it would turn a whole city like that?
Absolutely. Mayor Rizzo was like, "Oh, we got to stop this band." That's why they moved to Frisco.
Because Mayor Rizzo put the clamps on him.
Yeah. Oh man, you can tell I'm jacked, right? I'm just so excited right now. Oh, I'm on edge. The Phillies is last I checked, it was up 1-0 against the Padres.
Uh-huh. It's exciting.
It's game 1 of the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Eagles are good.
I think
the Phillies are in the playoffs. It's a good start.
I'll tell you, this city's on fire. And you know what, man? That last game against the Cardinals, it was a total nail biter. I was literally biting nails at Hallett's Hardware on Ridge Pike where I was watching it.
You were biting nails, not fingernails.
No, nails.
Okay. Does that help?
No, it hurt actually, but I'll tell you, it's interesting how I ended up watching the game there. I lost our TV on a non-sports related bet.
You lost your TV on what is a non-sports related bet?
Well, I bet my buddy Pudge that Angela Lansbury was 48 when she died the other day, and it turns out she was a little older.
Yeah, a little bit. How old did she turn out to be?
96.
96. You thought she was in her mid-40s, or
I did. Look, I'm a terrible judge of age. I once called Abe Vigoda's son when I was behind him getting a slice in the Italian market.
You were behind Abe Vigoda, the actor Abe Vigoda, at the market, and he was grabbing a slice.
Yeah.
And you thought he was a child.
He had a cap on, Tom, so I thought he might have been a teenager.
Sure. No, he carried himself just like a spry teen. So the cap. How could you not have thought that?
I don't know. It was a.
I was being
it was
sarcastic, Roy. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't pick up on that.
Yeah, I was giving you the business a little bit there.
Yeah. So anyway, I lost my couch, my TV in the bet, and Roy Jr. and I dragged our couch over to the hardware store, and that's where we watched it.
You dragged the couch to the hardware store.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty special.
It is. But look, don't worry. I worked it off at the hardware store, helping people find screws, bolts, making keys. Sold a lot of hinges because a lot of people are putting those saloon doors back in their rec rooms.
The saloon, they are?
Yes. Big business. As a matter of fact, I heard that, Michael Lindell, he's going to have to abandon the whole pillow thing. So his next venture is My Swinging Saloon Doors.
The My Pillow guy is going to slide his business over to saloon doors.
Yes.
That is a mind blower. Wow.
Pretty big stuff. So like getting back to this game, I've been so amped. I haven't gotten much rest because I'm just, I've been watching Phil's highlights on YouTube.com all the time. So, REM sleep. I'm barely getting Wishniak sleep.
God. First of all, got a lot to unpack with that last sentence. You don't have to say YouTube.com. You can just say YouTube.
Well, I like to show domains the proper respect.
Well, that's a fair point, and that's your choice. People can follow it. Without the .com though. It's not necessary, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And REM sleep and Wishniak, Roy, you every time I think I know you inside and out, you hit me from an angle I could never see coming.
Right. I mean, it might be the most inside Philly thing anyone's ever said on this program. So savor it.
Okay, I will savor it.
You can read all about them, the Johnsons, the Impossible Years, and other Philly Jangle legends on Wikipedia.com.
Okay, okay. Cool. Okay.
Hey, speaking of Philly legends.
Yeah.
I'm a little miffed right now.
Why is that?
Well, I heard about this app called Grippinder. It's basically a dating app just for famous Philly folks.
What is it called?
Grippinder.
Okay. What does that do?
Well, it's very exclusive, and all kinds of Philly legends are on it. People like, Julius Irving, Bradley Cooper, Eric Bazillion, Japanese Breakfast, Vince Papale, Joe Jack Talcum, John Oates, Frank Rizzo IV, to name just two.
Yeah, well, you named more than two, but that's pretty amazing. So this app exists.
Yeah, I tried to sign up for it, and they rejected me.
Why did they reject you?
Well, they said I was mildly infamous, but not flagrantly famous.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's a bummer because it bugs me that a dweeb like Jello Man Vile gets to have access to that next level Philly tale, and I'm lucky to get a hickey from a former Eagles cheerleader's alternate at the Pepper Mill up there on 309.
Well, Roy, aren't you married?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but, we got what we here call a Roxborough agreement.
A Roxborough agreement, and how does that work?
Well, basically, I get to do side dabbles whenever I want, and Rhoda can ogle the packages of 5 second-string 76ers of my choosing. Fair enough, right?
Roy, look, if that's your agreement and you're both happy with it, I can only wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, question for you.
Yeah.
You seen The Watcher on Netflix.com?
Again, the .com thing, it throws me a little bit. I'm just not used to it.
It's fine.
So I have not seen, I know of it. I have not watched it.
Well, I don't want to spoil too much of it for you, but going by the trailer and the promo photos I saw,
Mm-hmm.
I assumed it was going to be the story of a pair of giant black frame glasses that find their way onto the face of a gifted potter who's married to a Wall Street douche.
Well, that's very specific. That's what you thought it would be?
I did, yeah, but it turns out it's not about that.
Okay. It's about somebody spying or writing a letter. What is it about?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but basically it's a psych thriller about some creepazoid trying to scare away the new owners of a house.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest, Tom,
Yeah.
I lost interest halfway in because it's like, been there, done that, stole the t-shirt.
Ben, so because you have personal experience with this, it was not appealing to you. But when you
It was half-assed.
But when you say you have personal experience with this, you're talking about what? Being spied on?
No, I've been doing this maneuver for 20 years. Strap yourself in, all right? Look,
Yeah.
I don't own this house in Roxborough, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and my landlord been trying to sell it for 2 decades, but every time some prospective buyers come by, the whole Ziegler clan goes immediately into horror house mode.
How does horror house mode? And how does that work?
Yeah. Well, originally it was tame Brady Bunch level, sheet on a rope with canned sound effects from a record album kind of stuff. And that worked for years.
Okay. And it would scare off potential buyers?
Oh, yeah. But these horror movie franchises have become more and more disturbing over the years.
Uh-huh.
And people ain't afraid of that G-rated scare stuff no more.
They ain't afraid of that G-rated scare stuff no more.
Yeah. So, all right. So the other day, my landlord comes by and he's got some flagrant yuppie scum from West Philly out to check the pad.
Uh-huh.
Like a prospective buyer.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it pays to have a cousin who works at a hospital with unlimited access to buckets of previously used blood.
Oh God. That's Roy, that's horrifying. Previously used blood. Oh my God.
It was like carry on performance enhancing drugs.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Downside is it's really hard to clean that stuff up.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I'm not going to get my security deposit back. I'm pretty sure about that.
I would think not.
No. But I'll tell you on the funny side,
Yeah.
I ain't seen anyone run that fast out of a house since Rhoda's old man caught me and her having over the sweatpants fun in her bedroom after Britney Fox's record release show at the Empire Rock Room.
Wow.
Now you think it's funny, right?
Kinda, yeah. It's kind of funny.
Okay. Oh, hey, Tom, you used to have like one of your fingers in the entertainment business, right?
Well, I currently still work in the entertainment industry.
Ooh, okay.
I'm
That's
so
cool.
wow, it's a surprise, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
You sounded truly shocked.
Well, I thought, maybe he's a movie usher or something now.
A movie usher. If I was, that would be fine, but I'm not a movie usher.
Okay. Well, speaking of the Watcher, Tom, what's the name of that show Jennifer Coolidge isn't in?
I don't think. I'm not sure. I think she's in a lot of them.
You thought you had one, and then she was in it.
Yeah,
right?
and I realized she was in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, shifting to the world of music, did you see it's the 25th anniversary of Radiohead's OK Computer album?
Is it? Okay, that's exciting.
It is. Yeah, I think it came out in July of 97, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fun fact, OK Computer wasn't the original title of the album.
What was the original title?
It was called OK Computer, Let's See What You Can Do.
As if he was, as if he's commanding the computer.
Well, it was going to be a song for a Disney film starring Macaulay Culkin and Kelsey Grammer, and it was called Loggin' On.
I didn't know that. A Macaulay Culkin, Kelsey Grammer movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
My understanding is it was about a computer that gets hit by lightning and becomes a living being. It's pretty much like Killdozer without all the crushed construction workers.
The Killdozer. Wow. Okay. I haven't thought of the movie Killdozer in a long time.
That's my favorite film.
It is?
Killdozer, Bad Ronald, Exorcist 3.
Those are your three favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you gotta type.
I do. That's why I was excited about this movie, but it didn't happen. And my understanding is it didn't happen because Peyton Reed, who was going to direct it, he had to pull out to do a Connell's video.
Well, you got to go where the money is.
It's true. The only reason I know those factoids is because I once drove Tom York around Philly.
You did?
I did, yeah. I'll nutshell it for you. Basically, they was in town playing the truck. It was 96, and so he told me about this before that album even came out, but he and I totally hit it off. Super cool dude.
You and Tom York, you hit it off, huh?
Oh, yeah. I was driving cab that day, and I was so excited because I see this white-haired guy hailing a cab on Arch Street. I'm like, holy F, it's Jackie Rogers Jr.
He does look a little bit like Jackie Rogers Jr. sometimes.
I pull up and I go, hello, sir, I hardly know ye.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. Remember the song his Jackie Rogers Sr. sang?
Oh, sing it for me.
Pardon me, miss, but I've never been kissed by a real live squirrel.
And he's my favorite songwriter, probably.
Yeah, that was his great dad.
Senior.
Jackie Rogers Jr.
Oh.
So what did you guys do?
Well, he gets in the car, and I realize it's this English dweeb. But, he was cool, and we drove all over, going to record stores. And honestly, I got him hooked on Tasty Cake Crimpets.
You got Tom York hooked on crimpets. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
Well, I wouldn't either. And apparently, to this day, he still spends 15,000 pounds a year on them.
I knew not. That's wild. What, he has them flown in?
Weird. Oh yeah. Sometimes he has them shipped over.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty weird.
It's cool. Hey, you know what else is cool?
What's that?
Big news, Tom.
Big news. Okay, I'm ready for some big news.
I am going to be on a reality show.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me more about this.
It's on the Shout Network, and it's called Be Careful What You Wish For.
Okay. What is the premise of Be Careful What You Wish For?
Okay, the premise. Oh, excuse me. Don't worry, it's not COVID. It's just weed smoke.
Okay.
Okay, so the concept is they find very deserving people who, through no fault of their own, don't have the financial acumen or wherewithal to realize their dreams. So the show facilitates those dreams, but with one tiny twist.
Okay. What is the twist?
Well, I'm not going to tell you about the twist just yet.
Okay.
Tom, I ain't never told you this, but because it's not cool. But I love going to a day spa, getting a massage, having a steam, and just chilling with that relaxing music that they play there.
Mm-hmm.
Like pan flute kind of stuff.
Sure.
I love it.
Okay. Usually I didn't know that about you. Roy? Wait, what happened to Roy? Did we lose Roy? What happened? Hold on. Man. Wow. Hold on. Let's see if we get him. Hopefully he calls back. If Roy calls back, please put him through. I want to hear what he was saying about this reality show. Roy?
Look, if you're mad at me, just tell me.
I'm not mad. I didn't. Your phone went dead. I didn't touch anything here, Roy.
I didn't touch nothing either, except for you know what. But
okay. Now you were saying you enjoy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Ugh.
Okay. So
you were saying you enjoy the music at these spas, and you enjoy getting relaxing and all of that.
Yes. Yeah. So the show's making that dream a reality. I'm going to open my own place, my own top shelf 5-star spa where people come and let go of all their stress. They recharge their batteries in absolute peace and quiet. It's amazing, Tom.
Okay. So that's what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. It's the most peaceful place I've ever been. Anyone in Philadelphia, same thing. No one's ever going to be more relaxed when they come here. I'm actually here now. We open in 2 weeks.
Okay. That's very exciting.
It is. It's called Serenity, and it's going to be so great. Everyone's just going to love it. But Tom, there is one hitch.
What is that? What?
Oh no. My place is right next to a ship horn factory.
Okay. So you opened a place called Serenity right next to a ship horn factory.
Oh, stop! I didn't know it when I opened it.
You didn't hear that?
No, they they did. They told me it. They didn't say anything about it, and they test the ship horns from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And guess what our hours are?
Let me take a wild guess. 10 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Yeah. It sucks. And I'll tell you what, I feel just like the guitar player in that band Odin when he's in that hot tub with those skanks in Decline of Western Civilization 2. And he says, it's like having a check for $1 million and nowhere to cash it.
Sometimes we feel like the guitarist in Odin.
It's true. It's so true. Oh, man.
Roy.
No. Oh, this is too much for me, Tom. I can't take it no more. I just want it to stop, but it won't stop. You know why?
Why?
Because the horns are so loud.
Why won't it stop? Roy, is he? Oh, we lost Roy. Well, oh my God, he's trapped by horns outside his studio Serenity. Unbelievable. Poor guy. Poor Roy. He had his dream. He had his dream all laid out. I guess you do have to be careful what you wish for. So I guess that's what he was talking about, huh? All right, let's see where we're at here. Don't put the camera on just yet. I said. Guess we'll go back to the phones. How about that? A lot of action here. Phones are bouncing around like a bleeping pinball machine. Hello, Best Show.
Hey, Tom, it's Andy. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on? Where are you calling from, Andy?
I'm calling from New Hampshire. I had a Bruce Springsteen of New Hampshire for you.
The Bruce Springsteen of New Hampshire. Now, this is one of the trickier states. I'm curious about this. You can put the camera back on now. There we go. And here's your tea, by the way. Here's your tea. Help yourself. Look at that mystery hand grabbing the tea. Who could that be? Could it be Bruce the shark from Jaws? No, he wouldn't have a hand. That's why it wouldn't be. Andy, tell me about the Bruce Springsteen of New Hampshire.
Well, it's quite obvious. It's one Kevin Michael Allen.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It's kind of gross. Is he really? There's nobody better from New Hampshire?
No, unless you want Corey Lewandowski, that creep.
All right, I'm going to look at the list. I got to just check the list on this. So far, we've got...
I mean, otherwise you could... Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
So far, we've got a few states in the books. New Hampshire music stars.
I mean, I guess you could...
Oh, my God. The map is up. The map is up. All right, here's the list. Well, I got to just overrule you, my friend. We've got Mandy Moore.
You're going to say, wait, can I make a guess of what you're going to say?
You can.
Ronnie James Dio?
It's Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio is the Bruce Springsteen of New Hampshire.
Born in Portsmouth.
The pride of Portsmouth. And that documentary,
I
cannot wait to see that documentary. We're going to have been talking to the director of the documentary. They will be on the show to talk about the Dio documentary. And I got to say this. We got a surprise coming in a couple weeks. I did an interview with somebody. Can't say who yet. Can't say who. We're going to air it in a couple weeks. Legend.
I can't wait.
Legend. So we got Ronnie James Dio for New Hampshire.
Beautiful.
All right.
Tom, you
Thanks,
are the
Andy.
best.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. That's very kind. That guy at that Daniel Romano's outfit show who came up to me and he said, "You're the baddest MFer in the land." He was strapping guy, tough guy. Again, my challenge to Chuck Norris stands. Come down here, we will fight, and I will beat the tar out of you. You're 99, I'm assuming. That's the disadvantage for you. My disadvantage is I don't know martial arts. You could probably still do some kick and get me in the shins. So you got the advantage in certain ways. I'm going to deal with you the old-fashioned way. Doof, doof, doof. Right? Rocky V style. Fighting an alley. Hello, Best Show.
Hello, is this Mr. Scharpling?
Yes, it is.
Hello?
Hi. To whom am I speaking?
This is one of the many Mikes from Minneapolis.
The many Mikes of Minneapolis. It sounds like a show on Lifetime Network. Like it'd be a reality
there's a lot
show.
of people that call you from Minneapolis, so I'm one of them.
Okay, what do you got, Mike?
Well, I was actually born in North Dakota, but I live in Minnesota, so I can do both. But there's only two famous people associated with music from North Dakota, and they're both so 100% on brand with North Dakota. That's the wonderful, the Lawrence Welk himself, and Shadow Stevens. Ooh.
Yikes. We got a choice between Lawrence Welk or Shadow Stevens? I think we might have to.
North Dakota, baby. That's how we roll.
That's North Dakota, you said now, right?
Yeah, North Dakota.
Any chance we could get North Dakota to secede?
Yeah. You know, Chuck Klosterman, he writes a lot about rock and roll. He's from North Dakota.
Chuck Klosterman put Rock, Rotten Rule in his new book, by the way.
Then I met Chuck Klosterman. He's fun.
He is fun, and he put Rock, Rotten Rule in his new book.
Unless you want to go completely on brand, which is Lawrence is completely on brand. Let's be honest, Mr. Welk.
Lawrence Welk. Oh man, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Is that really the best that state has to offer?
Oh, I grew up there.
Yes,
it is.
What about Peggy Lee? You lunkhead.
All right. The Fever. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would we? No. Let's put Shadow Stevens above. What, the guy, the announcer from Hollywood Squares? Let's put him above a legend like Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee from North Dakota. There we go. Peggy Lee.
All right. Well, can we do Minnesota? Because I know I got strong opinions on Minnesota. Because I know that the two people on literally the Mount Rushmore of rock. We got two of them, and I want you to know your opinion on which one should be the Bruce Springsteen of the two people we got on the Mount Rushmore of rock from Minnesota. Who do you think?
The two people on the Rushmore would be Dylan and Prince.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But who's the Bruce Springsteen of those two? That's
Prince.
The question.
Prince is the Bruce Springsteen of the two.
Yeah. I was hoping because the entire he's got an entire color associated with him, and that's the state color of Minnesota. So yeah, it'd be Prince. I was just hoping.
Yeah, of course. What do you think? Bob Dylan is a rogue. He went rogue. He doesn't play well with others.
Oh no, he does not.
No.
All right. Well, this is well. I can't believe that all my opinions were reflected in your opinions. This is the first
Well, they
time
didn't.
for everything.
You were pushing Shadow Stevens on me.
Yeah,
they didn't reflect even a little bit.
It's on brand.
Mike,
I grew up there. You've been to North Dakota? I've been to North Dakota. On brand.
No, I haven't been to North Dakota. Why do I have to be there to give you? You've been to North Dakota. You didn't say Peggy Lee. It helped to not be from there.
Yeah, but that's not on brand.
On
An
brand.
anomaly.
What are you talking about? What do you
Grow up in North Dakota. If you grow up in North Dakota and see all the people that are literally worshiping at the altar of Lawrence Welk, you'd be like, ugh, this place. Well, at least they're sincere. This place is on brand.
All
apparently.
the people worshiping Lawrence Welk. I gotta see.
Oh, Sunday at 6. You drive through North Dakota Sunday at 6 and in the mid-70s.
Are you calling from the past? Is this like that Dennis Quaid movie where he talked to his kid through a radio?
What year do you think it is in North Dakota right now? Let's be honest. It ain't 2022.
No, you're right. It ain't. So tell me more about North Dakota.
Oh, well, all right. Yeah, I don't want to besmirch where I was born, but yeah,
that's okay.
It's a sad little cowboy town. The entire place is a sad little cowboy town. That's great. That's pretty much it.
Like what town did you grow up in? One of the smaller ones? One of the cities?
City. One of the cities. Now who's being funny? You're a riot, sir. Yeah, western North Dakota, the cowboy part, and then eastern North Dakota is all the flat farmer part.
Okay.
But yeah.
And what would you do for fun out there?
Oh, whammy! You're giving me the musical thing. All right. Well, I think I know when to exit. All right, sir. You have a good day, and God love you. And I've got 2 states on the board.
Yeah, we're doing that again. There's something weirdly satisfying that they can hear it now. Early, I was just like, oh, we got to set it up so the callers can't hear it. There's something beautiful about them hearing it and going, oh, here we go. Okay, guess that's what's happened to me. Okay, guess I'm about to get. Hello, Best Show.
Hello, Tom.
Oh, my goodness. I know who this is. This is Jason from Alabama.
It is.
Okay. It feels like I'm talking to the AI version of Jason. Hello, Tom. It is.
Hello, Tom.
There, back. He's on the soundboard. You got to get more Jason from Alabama clips on your soundboard. Now, if he says it is again.
All it has on it is hello, Tom, and it is.
It is. Yes. Well, Jason, welcome to the show. It's so nice to hear your voice. How are you tonight?
I'm doing really well. So I wanted to call and rep my state.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only 4 million of us here, so the odds that somebody from Alabama is going to call and rep the state's pretty low if I don't do it. So
now, who are you going to recommend? Nick, what's his face? What's the coach's name again?
Singer Nick Saban.
Nick Saban, is he your favorite? Is he your favorite musician?
He's from West Virginia, but we ain't never letting him go.
Okay. You ain't never letting him go. Okay.
I had a quick thing to say before I talked about the Alabama thing, though, very quickly.
Okay.
So this is going to be a story that starts off heartwarming, but there's a twist in it.
Oh, I'm ready.
So you know how there's like there's inflation and, it's hard to get food, especially like fresh produce, and especially something like an avocado. Like an avocado is kind of, notoriously expensive. So imagine if you heard an American city had a surplus of avocados, and we're going to give them out to everybody in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You feel pretty good about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What if I told you the city that this is happening in is Philadelphia?
The people of Philadelphia have too many avocados.
And they're going to hand out large quantities of avocados to the general public in Philadelphia.
I certainly hope they're not going to hand them out before an Eagles game.
Do you know what they're calling this event?
It's got to be like avocado palooza, avocado catastrophe.
Think a little more. Yeah, well, yeah, you're going in the right direction. It's Avageddon.
Avageddon. Okay.
The war to end all wars.
Sure. Avageddon.
So that's all you need to know about that story. It writes itself.
That story does write itself.
So that's it. I just wanted to warn the good people of Philadelphia.
Tell them to go get their avocados. And I'm looking at the chat. I see somebody saying avocados are gross. No, they're not. They're pretty amazing.
I love an avocado. Come on.
Yeah, you're eating the wrong avocado then. You're eating the wrong avocado. Now let's get to the matter at hand.
So I do. Yes. So the matter at hand. So, you could say, so we got somebody like Hank Williams. Hank Williams is from Alabama.
Yeah.
Very iconic, very influential, both musically and genetically. And then you have somebody like Jason Isbell, who's kind of recent, but, very much from Alabama. And you can hear the soil in his voice. And then you got somebody like Jimmy Buffett, but Jimmy Buffett belongs to Key West now.
But you've also got Mr. Sonny Blunt is from the state of
That's where I was going with this. You got Sun Ra.
Sun Ra.
How do you trump Sun Ra?
I got to say this. This is what we come down to. Hank Williams is one of my all-time favorites. Sun Ra is one of my all-time favorites. We got a coin flip going here. You know what's going to be the deciding factor? Sun Ra didn't create no Sun Ra second. If Sun Ra fathered Sun Ra the second and he sucked was his chowder head. Hank Williams the second takes Hank Williams the first out of the running.
That's fair.
Sun Ra from Alabama.
Thank you, Tom. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, Jason. Roll Tide. I'll see you in January at the big football game when we go all the way. And Nick Saban has his Diet Coke.
And his one smile.
He goes, "We did it." And then he just goes, "See you back next year." Right?
Yes.
Then he goes, "Now let's get back to work." And these kids are like...
And he immediately begins screaming at everybody again.
He immediately begins screaming again at the athletes who are playing for free. While he makes... How much does he make a year? $8 million a year?
More than anyone else in this state.
Okay. All right. Jason, roll Tide.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide. Have a good night.
You too. You have a great night.
Bye.
And roll Tide. Mike, are you here? AP Mike?
I'm here, Tom.
I want to hear some of you. I saw you on the chat saying it's got to be Hank Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just one of the American icons. I mean, he's...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But he also...
But I love Sun Ra. I mean, I don't have anything against him.
I know. The difference is Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah. Doing research for this.
Research?
Yeah. I did every state.
Oh my God! Then
I went
let me
through
just
every
say
state.
right now, Mike.
Yeah.
5,000 points.
But just doing research on this.
I like this. He didn't even care about the points. He just keeps he's on point now. Mike,
where would American music be without the southern states?
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got to properly represent them.
Yeah, they lost the Civil War, but they won the music war.
Yeah, that's fair. They won the music war. What is a state that was interesting to you in your preparation for this?
Well, yeah, I mean, some states, well, you just did North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was probably the worst state in the country because it seemed like Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. But Peggy Lee is a good one. Peggy Lee is a good
landscape. A what?
Peggy Lee is a good representative, though.
Yes, I missed that she was there somehow. I don't know how I did that, but I did miss that, and somebody let me know. And yeah, I agree. She's better than Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. Yeah, Lawrence Welk. Can you imagine if we ended up with Lawrence Welk as the rep?
Yeah.
How about Minnesota?
Well, Minnesota, yeah. I mean, it could have been a toss-up.
I think it's got to be Prince in a way, because if we're saying who is the Bruce Springsteen of the state, that is like Prince would be the Bruce Springsteen.
He stayed put. Yeah, that gives him
an advantage.
Yeah.
That's definitely the deciding factor for that one.
But just think of all when Bob Dylan passes away.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of all the historical sites that are going to go up.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's of course he's an American. He's a towering icon.
Yeah,
I would never diminish that, but I also do think we need to add points for people who stayed in the state and continued to cultivate the local aspect of their music while being international, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when I was making my list, I really wasn't doing that. So that's why I was trying to be a little controversial by saying that Bruce Springsteen really wasn't the Bruce Springsteen of New Jersey.
And who are you saying it is?
I was going to say just musically important. I mean, you can't deny Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, but he also he couldn't wait to get out.
Yeah. But here's the thing about New Jersey. There's the anxiety about being New Jersey. So that's like quintessential.
Mm-hmm.
That Frank Sinatra has the quintessential essence of being from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Is that he was anxious about being from New Jersey, and he had to shed that right away.
Yeah.
He had to like sort of flee the state.
No, that's a part of it. And Bruce Springsteen, the song they wanted to be the national anthem of New Jersey was a song about running from New Jersey.
Exactly.
Pat, this is Pat. How are you, Pat?
Good. I'm sorry, but I had to echo that. That was on one of my lists too, but I was going to keep Bruce on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let Mike keep going, but I do have California's, I think, locked and loaded when we get there.
Well, we might as well do it right now. Let's get one of the big states on the board. California, what do you say?
So I was driving around, and the gentleman who sings in this band's song was coming on in a rock block, and I realized I uttered the topic out loud about this gentleman because I just said, there's no one else I can think of for this state.
Sometimes I feel like my only friend. That one?
Exactly. It's Anthony Kiedis.
Oh, God.
You can't.
He's writing mythical songs about California.
No.
The state of California is his muse. No one's written more songs about the state.
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson.
Listen, this topic came out of me hearing this.
Brian Wilson created the mythology of California. He's an architect of the mythology of California.
Anthony Kiedis is the Bruce Springsteen of California.
I got to say, Pat, you're making a good case, though.
It's his muse. And it's the mythical land.
The Beach Boys didn't even surf.
The Beach Boys didn't even
True.
surf, but they sold surfing to an entire
It was
generation.
pure myth.
See, the Beach Boys are just like with Tom. You said it perfectly with Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is bigger than Michigan. He's Earth's Stevie Wonder.
But the thing
Beach
is,
Boys are America's band.
the Beach Boys never left California either. They started here. They were born in California.
Sure, but if the industry wasn't there, they wouldn't be there.
Well, but they were. I'd rather put Phantom Planet on the thing than Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers aren't on it. I'm saying Anthony Kiedis.
Oh, Anthony Kiedis, the worst
is the
member
Bruce
of the Red Hot
Springsteen of
Chili
California.
Peppers.
No singer-songwriter from the state sings and loves that state more than Anthony Kiedis. That's what makes him the Bruce Springsteen.
I've got an idea for California that people are not going to like. And people are not going to want to hear this. They're not going to want to hear this one. The Bruce Springsteen of California is Lana Del Rey. Because Lana Del Rey tells stories about being from California the way Lou Reed tells stories about being from New York City. It's about the underbelly of California. And it's me, and it's my show. And I think I might have to plant. The stream is down? Are you sure?
It was buffering. I can hear it now, though.
Can people hear? People said it's back.
Yeah.
Are we back, everybody? Somebody say yes, we're back in the chat.
They're saying they're back.
They're saying back. I said say yes, we're back. There we go. Yep, back up. That's not what I said to say. I said somebody said, refresh, you're back. No, I said, yes, you're back. Thank you. Quimby gets it. And somebody else said, we're back. Get it? I thought I could do it. I thought that Andrew Dice Clay would be the Bruce Springsteen of New York. Look, we're going to go back to California, but let's go to New York now. Mike, Pat, thoughts?
Yeah, I had Lou Reed and Billy Joel, despite the fact that I'm not really a fan of Billy Joel, but he stayed put. You know, he's got lots of New York references in his songs.
Pat says that's true, but Pat put down the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson for staying in California. Ho, ho, ho. Joni Mitchell is the pride of Canada. I would not want to take that from Canada. Joni Mitchell is obviously a titan from California, from Canada. New York, who could be in the running for the Bruce Springsteen of New York beyond Lou Reed? It's not going to be Billy Joel. Who else is there?
I have a suggestion.
Andrew, what is the suggestion?
You could say Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, I think of as you got to put some Virginia in there too with Jay-Z.
Is he from Virginia? I thought he was from Brooklyn.
No, he was a Marcy Project. You're right, but he drove back and forth to Virginia.
He did. That's true. On business.
Yes. Somebody's saying Mike Francesa.
Francesa.
What do you think of that, Mike?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Look, Jay-Z, I love Jay-Z. Hold on. This premise is fundamentally flawed. Every topic we do is fundamentally flawed. how this one's fundamentally flawed?
Yeah.
Lou Reed for New York. Patti Smith would be the Bruce Springsteen of New Jersey if Bruce Springsteen wasn't from New Jersey already. And Lana Del Rey for California. I'm putting it on the board. Just got to make some moves. No, not Curtis Sliwa. Yeah, these huckleberries. When he would always get mad. I remember Adam Resnick pointed out that Curtis Sliwa always calls everybody a huckleberry.
He uses slang from the 1940s.
Yeah, like he's one of the dead
Bowery
end
Boys.
kids. Yeah, the Bowery Boys. Come on, like he's like, hey, what's going on there? Like he's like, shut up, you idiot. Yeah, of course Lana Del Rey's from New York. Nobody's from California. The whole point of California is that you weren't from there. You go there and you become Lana Del Rey, and then you tell the stories about there. Lana Del Rey, California. It's just how we're doing it. All right, back to the phones. No, not Tom DeLonge. And man, what's going on in the planet Earth where suddenly Blink-182 are one of the biggest bands on the planet? This is like Planet of the Dopes. Best show, hello.
Hello?
Hello, hi, welcome to the Best Show.
Hey, Tom. This is Benjamin from SoCal.
Benjamin, what do you got for us?
I got Ohio, and I realize they're not the biggest, but I just wanted to have you actually pick Lux Interior, Freeman J. Hawkins, or John Zachary.
John Zachary?
He made albums?
Look, I was thinking for Ohio, Devo or a band, that's the problem. Boz Scaggs? Lido. Whoa. Stiv Bators?
Marilyn Manson?
Joe Walsh?
Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl, yeah. What if we just pick both 21
Bootsy
Pilots?
Collins?
Can we pick both 21 Pilots?
Of course.
Black
That makes
Keys, we
the
could pick the guy who got punched in the face by Michelle Branch.
What about Bootsy?
Bootsy Collins is from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know who we have to go with? Hey, ho, way to go, Ohio. Chrissy Hind is from Ohio. There we go. She even put it in song. My City Was Gone.
You got me.
Otherwise known as the theme to Rush Limbaugh.
Can I just say something real quick, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, so your last conversation with Penny should be interred into the Smithsonian. That was
thank you.
The best. That was awesome.
We do it right on the Best Show.
Just real quick.
Yeah, well, okay.
Oh, you do. It's pure quality.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a national treasure. But I got to give it up to Pat for calling Glenn Danzig out for being a jerk for not saying anything about the passing of Howie Pyro.
All right.
When did I say that?
I think it was in May.
I don't even remember saying anything about that.
Pat, this guy remembers.
It was I had to really. It shook me because it was spot on, and I just wanted to thank you for that.
Sure, I don't remember saying it, but I vaguely remember.
Take the compliment.
I guess I guess I tweeted something or responded to a thing because he didn't post on his social media, right? That was what it was, like days after.
I don't think he has, but yeah, he didn't. Of course, he didn't say nothing. He's a jerk,
right?
But you know,
there you go. Thanks,
former
Ben.
bassist
Ben. Thank you. Hey, Ben. No, you're gone. Chrissy Hind. Let's see what this chowderhead has to say here, who clearly wants to talk about Ohio. Best show.
Hi, I was holding for David Thomas for Ohio, but now you want to talk about Virginia?
Let's talk about Virginia.
Well, last week at the end of show chat, I was nominating Odorous Arungus from Guar.
That's true.
Thought that'd be a fun choice, but then I realized Dave Grohl is probably more Springsteenian and popular, and he is a Fairfax County native. So that's one option.
No, not going to be Dave Grohl.
Okay.
Virginia, what are you thinking? Come on, buddy. Come on. You got one.
I was going to go with Guar.
I'm going to give you one. The initials are DB. DCB. Come on. Come on, buddy.
Ooh.
Come on. The late great. The late great. Come on.
Recently late?
Recently late. 2 years?
Ooh. Oh, Dave Berman, yes.
David Berman, Virginia.
Perfect.
He's the Bruce Springsteen of Virginia. Can't deny it.
Thank you, Tom. That's a great idea.
Yeah. We're making a good list. Man, I was
You are,
listening to them walking around the other night, and I almost started crying walking around. That music does not stop. The power only grows with that music. That is
true.
A huge loss for so many reasons. It's cold comfort to say at least we have the music, but we do have the music. So, yes. Bye. Hello, best show. Hi,
Hey,
Ben.
Tom.
Hi. To whom am I speaking?
Howard. My name is Jacob, and I am from Illinois.
Oh, this is a good one. Who are you going to pick?
I know. Oh, man, I was kind of torturing myself over this one. Yeah, there's a lot of great musicians from Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into a little bit of a disagreement with my dad because I said John Prine originally.
That's a good one.
But I do feel because my dad said like, well, he also was like kind of he sang about Kentucky a bit. So it's like kind of detracts from like what you were saying, like, oh, he's got to be kind of they got to be based in the state, or they got to have that connection. So, but so in reaction to what I said, he said Dan Fogelberg.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking,
No,
I don't. I
Dan
gotta just
Fogelberg
on that one. But I don't think I do not think it should be Peter Cetera.
It won't be.
I
Don't worry.
Right. I'm glad
Don't
to hear
worry.
it.
It's more likely to be. I'm more likely to pick Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon than Peter Cetera.
Yeah, no. They had some okay like beginning stuff.
You want to talk about Ohio? About Illinois? I'm thinking one person. Who's that?
Oh God, that sounds so familiar. Oh, jeez. You give me another hint?
Mike?
Move on up.
There you go. Curtis Mayfield. I think it's got to be. Who else should we pick? We could be Dennis DeYoung from Styx. We could go with. We could go with Kanye West. Should we do Kanye West? I think it's got to be Kanye West. I'm going to say Kanye West for Illinois. Because
what about Chance the Rapper? I'd say that's a pretty safe bet, right?
Yeah, it's certainly a safe bet. He ain't so hot.
But yeah, because Kanye is a bit of a he's a bit too hot.
This is what I'll say about Kanye West. Do I like his music? Not really. Do I like everything else about him? Yes. No, I don't. I think we got to go with Curtis Mayfield.
Okay.
Right?
All right, sounds good. Okay. Well, I got to get to bed, Tom. You have a good night, okay?
Okay. Weirdly angry at me. I got to get to bed. We could use more calls. 201-989-0012. Let's go to the hot phones. Hot phones. We're going to hot phones. Hot phones, everybody. Best show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Oh, I know who this is.
Jeff Fierzig here.
Jeff Fierzig, the director, the top director, Jeff Fierzig, the guy who brought us The Devil and Daniel Johnston, who also we didn't get to Texas yet. We could be looking at Daniel Johnston for Texas. Could be looking at Texas. We'll see. The map is coming together. And also, like, Indiana. Who's it going to be from Indiana? John Mellencamp? I think it just has to be. Like, he's literally the Bruce Springsteen of Indiana. Right? Who else would it be? Right? Bobby Knight?
I'd have to go with your choice there.
I'd almost pick
I think
Bobby
all
Knight.
about that state.
I'd almost pick Bobby Knight. Put it down, John Mellencamp, John Cougar Mellencamp. We're not going to just go with Mellencamp. The Cougar is what made him the Indiana guy that got the thing. We might even call him Little Johnny Cougar on the map.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I try, Jeff. That's pretty good. Indiana, John Mellencamp, John Cougar Mellencamp is how we're going to rank them. Because the album is the last one I enjoyed. Now, Jeff, where are you at? What state do you want to focus on? Because I know you're from New Jersey, but New Jersey's taken already.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, it's not a trick question, but last time I called in, it was like the night of 1,000 Little Stevens, right?
That's right.
So this was kind of irresistible when this blast went out yesterday. And if I had time, I would have whipped up a whole documentary about this guy. But I'm going to take the state of Maine. Okay?
Maine. Okay.
Maine. Yep. But this is a true story of Billy Chinook. Have you heard of Billy Chinook?
I don't know Billy Chinook.
All right. Well, a lot of the Best Show listeners, they're in the chat. They're good at Googling as this goes down because they got to visualize this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy literally was born in Newark, New Jersey, but settled in Maine. All right.
Okay.
And he not only did he sound like Springsteen, but he looked exactly like Springsteen. And he's dead now, unfortunately. Anyway, so this is a true story. So it's the summer of '82.
Mm-hmm.
I've got fake ID, right?
Okay.
I'm just out of high school, and I'm down in Asbury Park. Now, I'm out at the Stone Pony. I'm next door at Mrs. J's Beer Garden. Okay.
Okay.
And who's playing? Of course, the Pete Best of the Bruce Springsteen East Street Band, Vinny Mad Dog Lopez, he's the drummer leading his own little band at the Beer Garden next door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he could even get booked at the Stone Pony. So we're seeing anybody who's related, me and Harf, to Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
George Thies, we go see him. He's in the Castiles. We go catch that guy. We go see Sonny Ken and the Wild Ideas from Red Bank, who taught Springsteen guitar at the Red Bank Guitar Center, right?
Okay.
We're seeing everybody, and honestly, we meet Vinny, and we feel bad for him. He's been kicked out of the band. He was so great on Greetings. He's so great on Wild and Innocent. And he got let go, and we felt bad for him, but he was awesome.
Sure.
And we started chatting with him, and there's no internet. And he says, listen, if you really want to see the real deal, you got to see Billy Chinook. And we're like, who's Billy Chinook? We've never heard of this guy. Well, Billy Chinook's going to be playing, in like 2 more weeks at Clarence's Club in Red Bank, Big Man's West. And we're like, me and Harper, well, we're going to go, totally. Well, it turns out, and you can look this up, the New York Times obituary. You ready for this one? I hope you're sitting down.
Oh, I am.
Bill Chinook was the founding member of the E Street Band, but you never heard of him.
No.
Okay. Not only that, every member of the E Street Band was in Billy Chinook's band first. Gary Talent, Danny Federici, Vinny Mad Dog Lopez, who was sending us off to see his friend. Now, we don't know what he looks like. There's no photos of him. You can't Google him, right? David Sanchez was in this band. These guys are playing with Billy Chinook for like 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
All around the clubs of Asbury. And we're like, oh, wow, we got to go see this guy. Well, anyway, we then start hearing things about this guy. And it's like, huh? And it turns out, obviously who discovered Bob Dylan. It was the great John Hammond Sr., right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And as we know, Springsteen was also discovered by the great John Hammond Sr.
Yes.
Do you know there's a third guy that was discovered by John Hammond Sr.? Do you know who that would be?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Billy Chinook.
Yeah, Billy Chinook. Now, Google him up. You can look at the photos. It's uncanny. This is a pure doppelganger situation. You've never seen anything like this. Now, it turns out in 70... Now, remember, Darkness on the Edge of Town comes out in what year? 78.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Billy Chinook in Maine in 77 puts out an album. You ready for the title of this album?
Yes.
Badlands. And it turns, And then Springsteen has to change the name. He was going to call Darkness Badlands. And now he's got to change the name to Darkness on the Edge of Town because of this guy, Billy Chinook. It's unbelievable, right?
Because he beat him to it. He took it off the table.
But then now remember, I haven't seen him play live yet. So I'm just getting it's like I'm just gathering the facts. I'm 18 years old,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy to get these facts. So we're excited. So Harf and I end up at Big Man's West, one of many nights. And we get in again with our fake IDs, and Billy Chinook takes the stage. Now, there's YouTube clips of this guy, and he's doing this song called Boys on the Avenue. Now, remember, at the exact same time in 82, you got John Cafferty and Beaver Brown doing a very Springsteen sound out of Rhode Island. We're seeing him live, and he's turning in a very respectable Springsteen-type show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing John Eddy and the Front Street Runners doing the same thing out of Philadelphia. And we're seeing even Springsteen jam with John Eddy. And Springsteen showing up on a lot of these nights that we're out. And we're basically chasing him, let's be honest. Well, anyway, so now Billy Chinook takes the stage. He's doing this song called Boys on the Avenue.
Okay.
This is Exhibit A. If the Best Show listeners want to don't click on the music video, click on the live at Big Man's West clip, Boys on the Avenue, and you might fall over. You might have a heart attack because not only does Chinook look exactly like Springsteen, he sings exactly like Springsteen. Like if you look at Springsteen in that new film that came out from No Nukes, where he's really wiry and all over the stage and he's mugging, he's doing all that great stuff that we love, and we still wish he would do it, but he doesn't do it anymore. Anyway, Billy Chinook's doing all those moves. He's doing the face. He's doing the mugging. He's doing the whole thing. He's singing like Springsteen. Then he's got other songs. He's got a song called Man on the Line. And you know what that's about, Man on the Line?
What?
It's about factory workers working in a factory. You believe this? He's got a song called Sha-La-La. You're closing your eyes and you think you're seeing Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I don't know anything. I'm 18. I'm just watching this and taking it all in. And Harf and I are looking at each other like, this is weird, man. This is crazy. I mean, this is like that bad Foreigner song, Double Vision. That's what I thought it was like that night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he blows us away. This guy is not second-rate Bruce Springsteen. I'm telling you, this guy is Bruce Springsteen. And then, it's the end of the night. It's time for the encore. And I'm not making this up. You can Google it yourself. This is June 26th, summer of 82, Big Man's West. Who comes back out onto the stage with Billy Chinook to sing Little Richard's amazing song Lucille, but the boss himself. Can't make this up.
So he's got
now they're on stage together.
the stamp of
that
approval.
is double, right? I'm sorry?
He's getting the stamp of approval.
He had the stamp. But
I'm saying from Bruce himself. From Bruce himself, he's getting it by sharing
Absolutely.
a stage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's sharing the stage. No different than Springsteen would show up every night that summer. It was unbelievable. He'd be at the Brighton Bar with John Eddie. He'd be at the Court Tavern. He'd be obviously at the Stone Pony. That was the easy one. He'd be, I would go see Shrapnel, with the great Dave Windorf over at Fountain Casino. And Springsteen doesn't take the stage with Windorf. I'm not going to tell you that. It didn't happen. But I'm telling you, glance to your right. Oh, there's Springsteen hanging out at the Fountain Casino. I'm telling you, I couldn't shake this guy that summer. Everywhere I went, it was. You ever hear about that guy who got hit by lightning like 7 times? You ever hear about that guy?
Yeah.
It's a true story. It was like, that's what it was like for me that summer. I either Springsteen shows up, I'm at the Windmill at 3 a.m. getting a hamburger. I glance to my right. Oh, there's Springsteen getting a hamburger. Either he's on stage, he's hanging out at the same bars, or he's getting a hamburger. But anyway, back to Billy Chinook. This guy was amazing. He was not like second rate.
Well, Jeff,
this is a true story. What can I tell you? I mean,
I'm just going to say this. Do I know Billy Chinook? I don't know Billy Chinook. But I'm going to say this. What you represent in terms of music and the knowledge and the passion and the enthusiasm, the wisdom of your musical knowledge. Was I going to make a case for Juliana Hatfield? Perhaps. From Maine. Could I have made a case? Could I have made a case for the Byrds, Clarence White? Clarence White from the Byrds? Yes, I could have made that case. But to honor Patty Griffin from Maine? No, none of these will make it. Because of Jeff Fierzig. Maine, the Bruce Springsteen of Maine, literally, is Billy Chinook. Put it down.
Nice.
Put it down.
I'm going to read a quote, and then I'm going to let you go here because you have other great people to talk to here. But this is from Billy Chinook himself. Ready for this?
I'm ready.
He says, Bruce used to play cards at my house in Shark River Hills, but for some reason the relationship grew more distant. Think about that.
That's going to haunt me.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Seriously, the guy's great. I mean, enjoy it.
I'm going to check it out. No, I'm going to check it out now. I got some homework to do.
Enjoy it. Yeah. All right, we'll talk.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff Fierzig.
You're the best.
I'm just
West
a mirror.
Is the best.
I'm just a mirror. West is the best.
West is the best. West is the best.
I know. It is the best. The West is the best.
West is the best.
It is. You passed the test. The words of the great Jim Morrison. Speaking of which, let's listen to, in honor of, the Bruce Springsteen of Virginia, Silver Jews. Yeah. The great David Berman, who is the Virginia representative. Let's go back to the phones and let's make a real dent in this list. 201-989-0012. We're going to go fast as we can here. Ding dong, bing a bong. Hello, Besho. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. To whom am I speaking?
I am Cassidy, and I'm from Oregon.
Cassidy from Oregon.
Yeah, Cassidy.
How are you, Cassidy?
Yep. I'm doing great. I went to a yoga class today. The sky is full of smoke and ash. It's just a normal day out here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I love. What part of Oregon are you in? Portland?
Yes, I'm in Portland.
Okay. Now, Cassidy,
And being from Portland,
go ahead.
we kind of got one great big option for who the Bruce Springsteen of Oregon is, and it's got to be Elliott Smith, right?
It's got to be Elliott Smith. That's a good one. I was going to say. I was kind of going to say Pig Champion.
Big champion. Wow. Huh.
Pig Champion. What about? Let's run this through. We're sure we don't want no. We're sure we don't want no. Who else? Carrie Brownstein.
Yeah, we got her. We got Sweeter Kenny. We also we have the Malk, Stephen Malcolmus. We have him out here too. That was kind of my other option.
Mm-hmm. You're really sure you don't want to put Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to pick him. Personally. I mean, you can pick him. It is your show.
What about poor old Johnny Ray? He was from Oregon. Poor old Jonah Ray. Right?
You know,
No, he'd be
Tom,
Hawaii.
I'm going to be honest. I've got no idea who that is.
The song guy from Come On Eileen. Sure you don't want to pick the maniac from... What about the maniac from Brian Jonestown Massacre? You don't want to pick that guy?
You know...
Anton?
No. No, I don't think so.
Robert Cray?
I mean, we're talking about who's most Bruce Springsteen like.
We sure don't. What about Greg Sage from the Wipers?
The Wipers. Oh, that is a really good other option.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Greg Sage is a giant. Right?
Yeah. We also have, oh gosh, am I blanking on their name right now? I always want to say Oasis, but it's not Oasis. Oh my gosh, I just went and saw them. You know, it was Janet Weiss and the other guy.
Quasi.
Yeah, Quasi.
But that'd be a band. We got to find
looking at the...
I think when you're looking at one person to be the legend from the place, and your suggestion was...
It's got to be Elliott Smith.
Elliott Smith? To me, it's between Elliott Smith and Pig Champion.
Yeah.
At this point. Elliott Smith or Pig Champion? What are we thinking? I don't know. You don't think Elliott Smith...
We don't have a lot of options, but we have some great options.
Wait. What about what's his face? From what's his name? From Dead Moon. Fred Cole.
I don't know who that is, Tom.
Oh my goodness. Well, it seems like somebody's got to go back to school. This is the only one
Yeah, I do.
where two people share Fred Cole and Tootie, Dead Moon, Oregon. You go down that Dead Moon road, Cassidy, you got a lot of good stuff ahead of you. I'm serious. One of the all-time great bands.
All right, I'm going to have to listen to their whole discography
True
tomorrow.
legends. Did so much stuff. Fred Cole and Tootie share it. Thank you, Cassidy. Hello, Best Show.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, who's this?
This is Jim from Maine. I'm actually just crossing back into Maine from the Celtics game tonight.
You went to see the Celtics game, and the Celtics were victorious.
They were. I took my daughter, and she wanted to talk to you, but she was She might be asleep right now.
Okay.
I had a pick for Maine, but I don't know if I can follow Jeff Bierzig. So
You got a different state you want to do? Massachusetts.
I didn't have one. I didn't have a backup.
Well, Massachusetts. Let's talk about Massachusetts. It's where you just were.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that Dickie Barrett?
Dickie Barrett from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. No, I would probably say Jonathan Richman would be the Bruce Springsteen of Massachusetts. That's off the top of my head, what I would say.
I think that's probably a pretty good one.
All right. Jonathan Richman for Massachusetts. Bill Simmons.
Oh,
sure.
Looks like my kiddo peeked up when she heard your voice. So
Okay. Well, tell her Tom
Might
says
wanna say
hi.
hi.
Okay, let's say hi. 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 Did you like the basketball game?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player on your Boston Celtics?
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. Yeah. Can't shoot threes, though. Can't shoot threes. He's got his hands are like cement. He shoots threes like Gene Simmons plays bass. Like he's wearing boxing gloves.
I'll tell you, I know why our favorite player is Marcus Smart. There was a couple years ago where she was playing, I think, third grade basketball, and she wasn't super aggressive. And so one game I told her I'd give her $1 for every steal she got.
Oh, that's
And man,
good. Yes.
she sold out on defense. But I owed her about $12 after a 20-minute game.
Amazing. That's so cool. And I think it's great. I wish somebody would offer me money for certain achievements. Wait, they do. That's called being an adult. It's called working. Well, good night to both of you. Not to you driving, Dad. Not good night to you. You get home and then you say good night.
All right.
All right. Thanks for the call.
And Tom, I will just say one last thing.
Yes.
I will say that our family vendetta against Betty White ended with my generation. It did not pass on to my daughter.
Well, the circle was broken. It's so great that the circle could finally break and the patterns were shattered. Bless you. Bye. Let's get some more calls here. We only got a few more. 201-989-0012. We got to get some of these states done. We got Massachusetts done right now. Is Jonathan Richman. Hello, best show.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. To whom am I speaking?
This is Jason in Louisville, Texas.
In Louisville, Texas, eh?
Yes.
What do you got for me, my friend?
So I've got to. I'm actually from Louisiana, so can we just go ahead and say it's Lead Belly and get Louisiana taken care of? Because Texas is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we're not going to do Texas. If you're from Louisiana, who else would be a candidate from Louisiana?
I mean, Doug Kershaw, obviously it's got to be Louis Armstrong, but the only reason Louis Armstrong, he's kind of the son of New Orleans kind of thing, but Mooringsport, well, there'd be no Woody Guthrie, without Lead Belly, obviously, which takes up, there's Oklahoma's Bruce Springsteen, obviously. So just seems like before somebody, names somebody wrong, with the Jerry Lee Lewis's and that kind of stuff.
No, I get it. Let's go with Lead Belly. Huddy Ledbetter.
Yeah.
Lead Belly for Louisiana.
Texas is a probably Willie Nelson, right?
We're going to find out.
Or
won't
Rocky
we?
Erickson.
We're going to find
or
out.
Daniel Johnson.
I'm thinking, look, Rocky Erickson sounds pretty good to me with that list. Lightning never strikes anymore, but I won't make it rain because it would only lightning again. Do you know that song?
I don't like taking it from Daniel.
You don't love me yet. Let's just check Louisiana real quick. Music.
Thanks.
Louisiana musicians.
Doug Kershaw.
We got a lot of there's a lot of choices. Holy moly!
There's
yeah, Jerry Lee
so
Lewis,
many.
Fats Domino. Fats Domino is oh my god!
You've got to go back further. There's no, Lead Belly comes before that. We're talking
Mahalia Jackson,
late
Alan
1900s.
Toussaint.
They're the forebearers. It's got to be Lead Belly. He got a tough
Phil
break.
Anselmo.
His whole life he got a tough break. I've got to give it to Lead Belly here.
John Batiste and Be Human, whatever that band was.
No, there is no without Lead Belly. Sorry.
Trace Atkins.
Right? Am I wrong?
Trace Atkins. There would be no Lead Belly without Trace Atkins, some would say.
They've said that.
Some would say there'd be no Lead Belly without Phil Anselmo. Randy Jackson, Harry Connick Jr. Well, who's on the line?
What about Alan Toussaint?
That's what I just said, Pat. Pat, Lil Wayne.
Streets, but I'm saying
Louis Armstrong.
We're talking.
Let's not forget Dr. John.
Airport.
Dr. John
he needs to win on the best show. Oh God! So the alligator.
Phil Anselmo.
Lead Belly. I can't let it happen. No, not
John
Phil Anselmo.
Fogerty.
We are not trying to own that.
You sure you don't want? You don't. When you were a kid, you didn't have a Tickle Me Anselmo, a doll that says some awful, questionable things.
It used a cassette that you put in its chest.
Yeah,
it was,
so it says hate speech.
Next level.
Yeah. Sure, Lead Belly takes it. We got to go with Lead Belly.
Thanks.
That's the wellspring for all of it.
Yeah. So Oklahoma's Woody Guthrie. Now you're 2 down.
Well, let's not rush. We for your reason past Wayne Coyne.
Well, again, I mean, even Bruce Springsteen would say Woody Guthrie is the Bruce Springsteen of Oklahoma, right?
Okay, are we doing Oklahoma now? We're just going to keep going with
Bob
Oklahoma?
Dylan puts his museum right next to Woody Guthrie's in Oklahoma. He didn't put it in Minnesota. He puts it in
Isaac
Tulsa,
Hansen.
right
You don't want to
Woody
put.
Guthrie.
Just remember this: Oklahoma. You have 3 Hansen brothers.
I know the pride. Aren't they Tulsa? Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong here. You're not wrong.
You got Garth bleeping Brooks.
We got Stephen Rhodes. Can you imagine in Oklahoma?
You sure Leon Russell isn't the Bruce Springsteen of Oklahoma? You sure about that?
See, I think him and Dr. John are hanging out with the alligator hat, like kind of kookiness.
Lee Hazelwood. Lee Hazelwood.
There you go.
Ooh, for Oklahoma.
That's a tough one.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. I think we might have to make it Chris Gaines,
it has
actually.
to-
It's
it
Chris
has to be Chris
Gaines.
Gaines. That's
Oklahoma
fine.
gets Chris Gaines. Thank you, Pat.
Okay.
Thank you,
Pat.
chat. I think
That's
someone in the chat beat me to
Well,
it.
we all do it together. It's a team effort.
Outstanding. You love to see it.
You do love to see it. Thank you for the call, Jason. All right, here we go. Hot phones. People are coming in fast and furious now. Best show.
Hey, Tom, it's Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mike? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, but I'd like to talk to you about Nebraska.
Okay. Because if we were doing Iowa, we'd have to pick 5 from Slipknot.
Correct. Yeah, there's
Or
no
7.
other way to slice it.
What about 3? Where do you want to do now?
Got to be up front.
You want to do Nebraska.
Nebraska, right next door.
All right, Nebraska. Let's see who we got. Connor Uberst. Right?
Well, my first thought if you could do a band would be 311.
We're not
because
doing a
they got
band.
big and then pretended they weren't from Nebraska.
You know that the Bruce Springsteen wasn't a band. It's an iconic figure.
Correct.
Nebraska.
And so I have to say in that it's not iconic doesn't mean great, correct?
Well, I would hope it would for this list.
for this list, yes, but for the state of Nebraska, I think it's Larry the Cable Guy.
Stop. Why you do this to me? Why? Why you do this to me? Get off my phone. Larry the Cable Guy. Well, let's look at Nebraska now for real. I can't see it. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Matthew Sweet, Neil Hefty, who I believe did the Rocky theme, right? There'd be no without him. Buddy Miles, the great drummer. Elliott Smith from Nebraska. Connor Oberst. Nebraska's a tough one. Boxcar Willie. I'm gonna have to sit on Nebraska for a minute. Unless people have opinions. Look at that map coming together. That's a thing of beauty. For the love of God. What a thing of beauty. Here we go. Best show.
Hey, this is Macro from Seattle.
Macro, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. What do you think?
I was going to try and get one for Washington State.
Let's hear what you're thinking, because I got one in mind.
I got 3, and I'll let you tell me if you like any of them or one in particular.
Yeah.
First is Mark Arm.
Mark Arm is who I'm thinking, but keep going. Let's make sure we get everybody.
Yeah. Second, Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot's very good.
And third, this is a tough one. I didn't want to go the dude, but either Kimya Dawson, Kim Warnick, or Mia Zapata.
Okay, let's go through that now again. Say that again.
Kimya Dawson.
Kimya Dawson.
Kim Warnick.
Mm-hmm.
Or Kim Warnick or Mia Zapata. So
Okay.
I kind of cheated it.
No.
So I apologize.
No. That's not cheating. I mean, Jimi Hendrix is a big one from Washington. That's a hard one to pass up. That's as big as it gets.
Right, but he wanted to leave.
He
Seattle
got out. You're right. He ran to London and toured everywhere as fast as he could.
Yeah, I would have chosen Hendrix if the lifer thing kind of was a good limiting thing. So.
Mm-hmm. You know what I was thinking?
What was that?
He's a friend of the best show. I want to do Mark. I think I got to do Mark Armour. I was going to say, look, Ben Gibbard's a friend of the best show, and he still lives in Seattle. He didn't leave. That's Bruce Springsteen.
Yep.
Mark Arm.
I don't think Mark Arm is though.
Mark Arm is still in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Arm, Ben Gibbard. Mark Arm, Ben Gibbard. Mark Arm, Ben Gibbard. We also got Duff McKagan. Put him on the list. Put the Wilson sisters on the list, but they're not in Washington anymore. Kenny G.
Yeah, and Duff.
You know, it might have to be Macklemore. What about Macklemore?
I hope not. No.
He's a friend of the best show, and this is a best show map. I respect my friends. The tie goes to Ben Gibbard over Mark Arm. New Death Cab
I have to
album.
respect your decision.
New Death Cab album is legitimately good. Seriously, it's the best in a long time. I truly like it, and I have not listened to it enough. All right. Bye. Back to the phones. Best show.
What's up, Tom? It's Mike in Baybridge calling for the first time ever.
Mike in Baybridge. How's it going, Mike? Somebody's mic is live.
Good.
Sorry about that, Mike.
That's okay. I have a name for the topic, but first I'd like to wish you and yours very happy fall. A fall that brings the peace and feeling of connection that we all long for. A connection that brings a feeling of soulful nourishment and a sense of place.
I can't do this. Goodbye.
can-
Bye-bye. I that's enough. I can't do that anymore. Back to the phones. Hello, Best Show.
Hi. Yes. Hi, Tom.
Hi. To whom am I speaking?
This is Pat in D.C.
Pat in D.C. What's going on, Pat?
All right. Well, first, I'd like to advocate for D.C. statehood.
Of
We should
course.
include it in this list.
I agree.
And also, we should have voting representation in Congress and all that.
I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay. Now, the kind of, I'd say, obvious and in terms of international fame and influence, obvious choice is Ian MacKaye.
Sure.
But I think, I know I shouldn't speak for Ian, but I think Ian would agree with me that the local choice among DC residents would be Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown was from
The Godfather of Go.
Yeah, the Go-Go scene from the early
Godfather of
80s.
Go-Go.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good dual split between Ian and Chuck.
Well, I'm writing this down for DC. We'll see if we can fit DC on the thing because we'll try to get it on the map, and it would be Chuck Brown. Although Rollins split as soon as he could.
No, Rollins left.
Yeah, MacKaye.
Yeah.
Ian didn't also.
And, Ian lives 5 or 6 blocks from me. He's, we're running to him in the store and stuff. He's
Humble brag
he shows all the
much.
time. Actually, that reminds me. The other day at work, a customer kind of tried to big time me by bragging about how he sees Ian MacKaye around town at shows and stuff. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Ian MacKaye.
Everybody has. And also, you mispronounced his name.
Yeah.
And yeah, come on.
Now look, Pat, you done did it. We'll try to fit DC on the map, and it'll be either Ian or Chuck Brown. Bye. Here we go. Hello, Best Show.
Hi, Tom. This is Steve calling from Chicago, but I'd like to represent my home state tonight, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. What do you got?
Well, we have a lot of interesting folks, like you said. There's Peter Tork. There's Miracle Legion. Rivers Cuomo from your favorite bands from Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to advocate. I don't know anyone who sums up the state better than John Mayer.
I think you're right. John Mayer. John Mayer for Connecticut.
Nailed it. Thank you.
Could have put Thurston Moore. Right?
Yeah,
Mark McGrath.
There. Karen Carpenter. Mark McGrath is from Hartford.
Vinnie Vincent.
But, John Mayer has said.
Michael Bolton.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But there's a certain John Mayer is the kind of Connecticut skis ball that we all pretend not to know, but we all know.
Moby's the pride of Connecticut also.
Yeah.
But I think John
Mayer. Right
Mayer fits the bill. John Mayer it is.
Awesome. All right, you have a good night, Tom.
You have a great night.
Take
Bye-bye. So that's how I handle it. It's a class act. More calls, 201-989-0012. We're filling in these states as fast as can be. Best Show, hi.
Hi, Tom.
Who do we got here? What's your name?
This is Matt from Lexington, Kentucky.
Matt, you gonna pitch for Kentucky? What do you got?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to tell you, I just went and saw Kurt Vile tonight in Louisville, and I'm headed home from there, and it was an amazing show.
Who'd you see?
And he played that silver. I went to see Kurt Vile tonight.
Oh, yeah.
In Louisville, Kentucky.
And he played that. He played that song on the tour. He's been playing that a lot of nights.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
So great. And for people who don't know, the song was "Punks in the Beer Light," which is from the album Tanglewood Numbers. So people can check the music of David Berman out if they don't know it.
It was awesome, man. Everybody was singing with it. It rules.
Now tell me what you're thinking for Kentucky.
I don't know. Billy Ray Cyrus? What do you think?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
I mean, Achy Breaky Heart was pretty big.
Yeah, it sure was. You know what else was
That was
big?
a long time ago, though, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what else was big was the California Raisins. We're not putting them on the list.
Yeah. It's true. Loretta Lynn. I don't know, man. It's hard. Sturgill Simpson would be a possibility.
Loretta Lynn's a good one. Who's on? What do we got? Who's thinking what?
I think Loretta Lynn's probably a good one.
Mike, Pat, you got something for this? Jason?
I was going to say California Raisins were going to be my number 2 after Ketis.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
I was going to say Jim James.
Jim James from
My Morning Jacket.
Yeah.
I went with Bill Monroe. He invented a musical genre, bluegrass.
Yeah. The speed metal of country.
Yeah.
He's the Yngwie Malmsteen of country.
Someone in the chat says Richard Hell.
Richard Hell. Who, Jason?
But he moved.
Adrian Belew. Maybe. Let me think. Adrian Belew. Interesting. But he didn't stay. Artemis Pyle?
Richard Hell.
Richard Hell definitely didn't stay.
No,
Hey, man, it's me, Richard Hell. Yeah, I'm in a band called Television, but I'm going to go start the Voidoids.
No. Richard Hell. He ran as fast as he could. Mike, I hear you're Bill Monroe.
Loretta Lynn's good too, though.
I would say let's go with Loretta Lynn because
yeah.
Bonnie Prince Billy's a good one, but I think Loretta Lynn takes the
Bonnie
cake on
okay.
this one. Loretta Lynn,
Thank you, Tom.
of course. Thank you. We got 20 minutes left in the show. 20 minutes left.
How about Dolly for Tennessee?
Mike, you might have just nailed Tennessee right there. But we're gonna say over Elvis, Dolly Parton.
Well, Elvis is Mississippi.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But you think of him as Memphis though, like he lived in Memphis.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like Memphis is where he
Yeah.
did his thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
You can split the difference if you want both, right?
We could split the difference. And I want to right now, West Virginia. Who are we going to do? West Virginia. I was going to do our own Jason Gore for the state of West Virginia.
I had Bill Withers.
You had Bill Withers?
Yeah.
That's a good one. But if we don't put Jason on this thing, I'll never hear the end of it.
There goes Jason.
Yeah, never hear the end of it. Well, he's going to lose. He just said, I'll lose it. He said, I'll effing lose it. And he didn't say effing. He said the full curse word. And I didn't appreciate it.
Sure.
Hey, best show.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Tom. It's Jonathan in Houston.
Where are you calling
Can
from,
you hear me
Jonathan?
okay?
I can hear you.
I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
From Houston, Texas. All right. Texas is a big one on the board. What do you got?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been listening in and out, so I don't know if you've like nailed down the rules of it has to be, but it's a little unconventional. But what about Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner?
Jerry Jones.
Hello. So
here, I'm not trying to be a troll or like, I was thinking a lot about this and I was talking about it with my friends
Mm-hmm.
and we're thinking about, my instinct goes to like someone said Willie Nelson or, but I think at the end of the day, and I have to give credit, this is my friend Nick in San Francisco. This was his idea. But I think the idea of what is Bruce is that it's a branding issue.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the branding will be, good. Some will be bad. Some will be accurate. Some will be like, but I think Jerry Jones embodies the Texas brand more than anyone.
Well, I mean, considering the state doesn't have much of a musical history, I think we might have to consider it.
Well,
But Ernest
the
Tubb.
case is that it's unearned. It's Texas's unearned exceptionalism. It's like they haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still America's team. And you ask like, why does everyone like them? And they're like, because the helmet, or like, because we're the, and it's just like, it's that confidence. So that's like, I think that gets at something that's an interesting part of this topic in terms of branding.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I see what you're
I
saying.
have two other.
I'm starting to see what you're saying. I'm starting to see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see what you're saying, and
people have,
I
like,
don't like it.
What about two more conventional?
Oh,
Richard
more. You got more
Linklater?
conventional ones, not less conventional ones. Say less conventional one. We could pick SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, I had to go for it. No, I got Richard Linklater, and then DJ Screw.
Well, no, Richard Linklater is one of my favorite musicians. Of course, I can't get enough of his album Dazed and Confused, and then he had that great record Boyhood, which we all kept listening to that whole summer. Remember?
Yeah, the best.
Willie Nelson is for Texas. Come on, it's not even close. This
But
guy,
Willie Nelson's from Tennessee, no?
but where has he planted his flag and made his legend?
Yeah. No, Willie Nelson is definitely the obvious. Willie Nelson is.
Get off my phone. How dare you? Yeah, well, Willie Nelson is the obvious choice. Yeah, that's why we're going with it, because it's undeniable. Jerry Jones. Might as well put Jeffrey Jones while we're at it. The principal, Rooney. (201-989-0012). Shockingly, we don't have any calls right now. There's a good opportunity to get in if you want to. Let's start looking at some states that nobody's called about. Let's check South Carolina, for example. South Carolina musicians. Who do we got? We're going to go fast with this. We might have to go James Brown. South Carolina is James Brown. Right? Is that fair? You got to go James Brown for South Carolina. I'm not going to pick Chubby Checker, Darius Rucker.
I thought Chubby Checker was from Philly.
Not according to this chart.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, Andrew, there is a Checkers in Phillies.
That's yes. So South
Unless it's a
Carolina,
Rallies.
Chubby Checker. Let's go with let's check out what's a state we didn't check. Let's do Utah. This is gonna be a rough one. Mike, did you have any insight into Utah?
Gotta be the Osmonds.
It's got to be Donnie and Marie.
Donnie and Marie, yeah. Sums it up, right?
Mike, I think you're right. It's Donnie and Marie. You were ready on that one.
Yeah.
I got to say.
Did my research.
Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Slim Pickens in Utah.
Yeah, even Slim Pickens wasn't from Utah, or we would have put him on the list.
Yeah.
South Dakota. What are we looking at here? Yikes.
Yeah, that was Slim Pickens.
This is a rough one.
I went with Sean Colvin, which,
yeah,
that's the only name I kind of knew. I didn't know anybody else
South
there.
Dakota. Who am I going to take from South Dakota here?
Yeah, the Dakotas are slim. We should start a music scene in the Dakotas. They need some music up there.
Okay, you head out. You head out and get it started. I'll join you. But you're going to
do the zine? Would you do the zine for me?
No, you go out and get it started.
All right.
I'll catch up to you. You'll already know when you're settled.
A lot of roughnecks there. Don't they drink beer and listen to music?
Yeah, music from other states.
I guess so.
I'm telling you, I don't know who would be from. Sean Colvin is the breakout candidate from this. Who am I going to pick? Indigenous, the band Indigenous, the band Paradise Fears, The Kickback. I don't know. Myron Florin, an accordion player.
Too.
Idaho musicians. Let's check that out. We got to go with Sean Colvin for South Dakota. Oh, yikes. Idaho. What are we going to pick? The guy from Built to Spill?
Septic Death?
Mike, we might end up
Paul Revere?
We might end up with Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Uh-huh.
Might have literally put Paul Revere on the list. From Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Uh-huh.
Who else is from here?
I went with Wayne Newton for Nevada.
I think we got to go with Paul Revere for Idaho. Let's check Wyoming. Let's get these big ones out of the way.
I went for Chris Ledoux.
I associate him with New York. We might have to go with Moondog, who was at least born in Wyoming. Look, for some of these states, we're not going to penalize you for running from the state. There ain't no way Moondog was going to cut it sticking around Wyoming. You ever listen to those Moondog records, Mike?
No, I think I tried to, and did not do it for me.
Yeah, it's a challenge. There's some really beautiful stuff on them, though, if you get through some of the other stuff that, not all of Moondog always works for me either. So, but Wyoming will go with Moondog. What else are we looking at?
Also Slim Pickens?
What's that?
Montana.
Mike, I was typing it in as I looked at the map. Who are we going to go with? Nicolette Larson?
That was the only one that I could think of there.
Jeff Ament bought my book from Pearl Jam. Joel R.L. Phelps is great, though. Steel Pole Bathtub. Steve Albini is from Montana. I think it's got to be Steve Albini. Steve Albini for Montana. Let's see. We got those middle states. Look at Kansas. Let's get Kansas locked down. Kansas musicians.
I went with Charlie Parker.
Making a good case.
We don't have too much jazz on here.
Also, it doesn't help when I see Moondog on the Kansas list also. This is probably when he was getting out of Wyoming. He went through Kansas as he made his way to New York. He's probably in every state going across.
We have a few more calls now in the bank.
All right, let's take the calls. Let's take some calls. But while we're talking about, I think for Kansas, we might have to put Steve Walsh from the band Kansas. Who did you say, Mike?
I said Charlie Parker. I think he made more of an impression musically.
Yeah, I think we might have to go with Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker is for Kansas. Janelle Monáe. Charlie Parker. We're going to go with Charlie Parker. Oh, we got a good one here. Best show.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
This is Mark from Newark, Delaware.
Mark from Newark, Delaware. Who do you got for Delaware?
Newark, yeah.
Newark. Sorry, I got yelled at from somebody else from Delaware for saying In New Jersey, it's Newark. In Delaware, it's Newark.
Yeah, we do say it differently.
What do you want to pick, Joe Biden? Joe Biden
that
experience.
was my first pick, but then I heard what happened.
Jared, what is this guy? Corn Pop? You gonna pick that guy he was friends with? Yeah, I got Corn Pop in there. Was that the guy's name that he said he was fighting? The guy named Corn
That was
Pop?
his name. Yeah, I think Joe. Was he talking down out of a fight or something? I forget that story, but his name was Corn Pop. Yeah.
I know who you're gonna pick. You're gonna pick George Thorogood.
Seems like I thought it'd be good, easy, quick. George Thorogood. And who else? Somebody in the chat mentioned Tom Verlaine, but
but Tom Verlaine did nothing.
He took off to New York,
ran
right?
as fast. He went up. Tom Verlaine got on the turnpike as fast as he could. Got to New York. Look at this list.
as he should have. Yeah.
This is the funniest thing I ever saw. Music artist from Delaware. Bob Marley is listed as being from Delaware. I don't think
He
he's
lived
from-
here. Yep.
But I don't exactly associate Bob Marley with Delaware.
No, I associate him working at Chrysler. I think that's what he did here.
Got to be George Thorogood.
Yeah, Zen Gorilla, but they never really.
We're going with George Thorogood.
That's what I thought.
All right, buddy. Have a great night.
All right.
Bye. All right. Last 3 calls. We're going to go fast as like lightning itself. Best show. Hi.
Hey, hi, Best Show.
Hi. Who's this?
This is Sammy K from New Jersey. By the way, I guess I'm in Ohio right now.
Okay.
I am in Ohio.
But what are you calling about? What are you calling? What state you want to do? We already got New Jersey and Ohio locked down.
Yeah. How about North Carolina?
All right. What do you got? Who would be from North Carolina?
This kid named BJ Barnum. He plays in this band called American Aquarium. Good rock and roll, good Americana, working class boy.
Nope.
Family of tobacco farmers.
Not getting any closer. You could keep talking all you want. It ain't going to be, who'd you say?
BJ Barnum, American Aquarium.
Look, DJ Barnum, I'm sorry. It can't.
Yeah.
Sounds great, though. Not going to cut it. Bye. North Carolina, John Worster goes for North Carolina. He's the Bruce Springsteen of North Carolina. Hello, Best Show.
Hey, this is Chewy from Colorado.
Chewy from Colorado. What do you got?
I'm thinking John Denver.
John Denver.
I don't think he's originally from Colorado, but I mean, that's the best representation I could think of.
Let's look at Colorado real fast.
It's pretty bleak. There's not a whole lot.
Oh, I don't think it's bleak at all. What do you mean? Sugarloaf and and tennis?
String cheese incident.
String cheese incident. Jill Sobule.
Lumineers, one of your favorites.
Big Head Todd and the Monsters, the Lumineers. Hey! Laura Veers.
Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and also known for the song Easy Lover.
Yes.
The duet with Phil Collins. Dressy Apples in Stereo were from there. Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith. John Denver. Kip Winger. He's from Colorado? I'm putting Kip Winger on the list. Ain't no Kip Winger going on my list. What other states do we have we got to do? We got to do Nebraska. We didn't do Nebraska, right? Did we? Oh, wait. Did we pick a Nebraska person? I don't think we picked somebody. I think Nebraska was a push.
I think Bruce could go in there twice.
Make him from Nebraska just because they made the state famous?
Yeah.
What about Matthew Sweet? Nobody ever heard of it until that album. Matthew Sweet?
I have a thought, perhaps.
What do you got? What do you
got? Somebody said this already, but I think Connor Oberst with the whole Saddle Creek, John. Sorry, that's a Philly. Anyway, the whole Saddle Creek scene That's just my.
You can say John. You're from Philadelphia.
Yeah. Anyway,
you're allowed.
I don't know. That's the whole Saddle Creek makes me think Connor, but I can see why. Maybe not.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, let's just put him on because he did stuff for current stuff, and he's kind of like a Bruce Springsteen type. Let's go with that. Can we see the map for a second, please? All right, let's see. We filled in a bunch that are going to go up over the course of the next couple days. We'll get the map done right. Let's go real quick to Hawaii is going to be who? What's his face? Not Don Ho. Would be what's his face?
The guy who sang Over the Rainbow?
No, not the guy who sang Over the Rainbow. What's his name? The gigantic guy. No, not Bruno Mars. It's got to be Bruno, not Jack Johnson. I'll throw you out of here. Hawaii musicians. Yeah, I'd pick Bruno Mars. He reps the state pretty proudly. Yeah, let's look at Alaska. We can pick Jewel.
Someone's saying Elvis should be Nevada. That's a good point.
That's interesting. Yikes, Alaska. Nirvana drummer Jason Everman was from Alaska. I think we might go with Jason Everman from Nirvana. He played on Bleach. Portugal, the man. Jewel is from, it's got to be Jewel. Jewel for Alaska. What's another big state we don't have? Arizona, we did not do, right? We didn't do Arizona. And we got to end this now. Let's do Arizona. We'll end it. We'll close it out next week. How about that? Arizona. Mike.
And Charles Mingus.
That's what I was going to say. Either Mingus or Alice Cooper.
That was a cheat, though. I mean, did he represent Arizona?
No,
Probably
he
not.
ran as fast as he could. He got that base. He picked his base up and got out of there as fast as he could. Like Waylon Jennings is from Arizona. But who stayed there? Meat Puppets?
Meat Puppets, yeah,
Sun
maybe.
City Girls stayed there. That's a hard one to... But who would you single out from Sun City Girls? That's a band. Glenn Campbell is from Arizona. Like Charles Mingus, if he had any presence in Arizona, would be the Linda Ronstadt, but she went to California as fast as she could. Alice Cooper went to Detroit as fast. He went to Michigan as fast as he could. And for Michigan, it is Aretha Franklin for Michigan. Because Iggy was in a band. We're going to say Iggy being in a band ain't putting those Iggy Pop albums on there because they had nothing to do with Michigan, in my opinion. He was making them in places other than Michigan. Alice Cooper for Arizona? He's still there. Let's go with Alice Cooper for Arizona. He's still flying the flag for Arizona. All right. Let me see if there are any more calls. Go one final call, and then we're saying goodnight here. Hello, Best Show.
Hi, Tom. This is Shara.
Hi, Shara. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to put in, I think we got it into the chat, but definitely Cass Elliot for Maryland.
Who else would be a Maryland candidate? Let's go through that. Dan Deacon.
There were some other good ones.
John Waters.
Had Philip Glass.
Philip Glass. Oh, let's see. Frank Zappa. He got out. Lisa Loeb. The Madden brothers from Good Charlotte.
You gotta go with Cass. She's the queen.
We got to go with Cass
And she was-
Elliot.
You gotta go with Cass.
Even though she's so associated with California.
Is Tori Amos not
Yeah.
Maryland enough or not popular enough?
I'm tempted to go with JC Chazé from
No,
NSYNC.
no.
You didn't like him from NSYNC? I still think he's going to be the most popular member of NSYNC. I still think he can pull it out. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Snail Mail is from Maryland. What about Cisco? Dong, 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 dong. No?
No,
And
I
this
think
list
Cass
is pretty
beats them
bleak. We'll go with Cass Elliot, even though it's a thin soup for Maryland. And then we'll figure out which states are left, and we'll either finish them up online or on the show next week. And speaking of next week, I believe we can tell everybody what's going to happen on the best show next week. Is that doable? Can we throw that thing up on the screen? That's fine. I'm going to tell you this. Next week on the best show, going to have a band in studio. One of my favorite bands in the last bunch of years. Wand! Live set from Wand. Oh my God. Drag City recording artist Wand in the studio. And an interview with music legend Kid Congo Powers. Very exciting. Next week's going to be a great show. And I thank everybody for listening. And again, I'm going to New York right now. No, not right now, but I need to get my suitcase. I am going to New York. And what will I be doing there? 2 live shows for Double Threat. And Double Threat is the show I do with Julie Klausner. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever hear. The Bell House, New York City, October 20th, sold out. October 21st, still some tickets available. If you're not in the area, we will be live streaming the show on the 21st, Friday the 21st, 7:30 p.m. You can buy a ticket to the live stream at moment.co/double threat, and you have 7 days to watch that live stream. It does not expire the night of. You have a full week to catch up and watch it and check it out. And the show's going to be funny. And I'm telling you right now, we're in for a great time. Can't wait to get back to New York and see you all. And until then, but then next week, best show, Kid Congo Powers and a live set from Wand. It's going to be a truly amazing show next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next week. And I tell you right now, bye-bye. The Best Show is produced in partnership with the Forever Dog Podcast Network. The show is hosted by Tom Scharpling and features John Worster, Jason Gore, Pat Byrne, and Michael Lisk. The show is produced and written by Jason Gore, Pat Byrne, Michael Lisk, John Worster, and Tom Scharpling. The Best Show is executive produced by Tom Scharpling, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. The show is engineered and mastered by Andrew Gleason. Website and technical support provided by Martine Sellis, and the show is recorded at Forever Dog Studios in Los Angeles. Support The Best Show on Patreon over at patreon.com/thebestshow, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram over at Best Show 4 Life. That's Best Show number 4 Life. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.